Just got a jury summons from the state of California sent to my parents' house after not being in the state for over 3 years and not having a driver's license or a car registered there anymore. Good old California back at it again. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
All right, we'll do a little bit of news, and then we'll get into some other very interesting subjects. What do you got?
So there's an actor from General Hospital, Johnny Wachter, who was known for playing Brando Corbin in General Hospital. He has been shot while interrupting 3 male suspects who are allegedly attempting to remove a catalytic converter from his vehicle. So,
driving a Toyota, I'll bet.
So what happened?
Toyota's fault.
He also worked at a bar. He was leaving work. It was like
downtown LA.
Yeah, 3:25 a.m. He was walking with somebody, saw some people at his car. He thought they were towing the car or something was going on. So he goes up there, confronts them. One of the guys is wearing a mask and eventually opened fire on him. He died from the gunshots. Gunshot wounds, yeah.
They're so easy to steal, those catalytic converters. Why was it taking them so long?
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, we got to hear Neetha's, whatever her name's, Raman's speech, because I was breaking it down with Drew earlier today, but there's a nuance to it. And so this is the woman, this is her district, because right. I looked her up. And she's been reelected, by the way. And she's upset at Toyota. We played you the clip, but it's worth breaking it down. Now that someone's dead for stealing a catalytic converter. This is her. She, by the way, Harvard and MIT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is what they teach you in school. And by the way, this clip, Dawson, I don't know, for some reason it's got like 8 or 10 seconds at the top that we don't really need, but we play it every time. But anyway, go ahead and play it.
The issue, we say, we'll just ban it. We'll just ban it and that'll be the end of it. Instead of actually thinking about what is going to address this issue in a very real way. In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook.
All right, just stop it there for a second. All right, this infuriates her, by the way. She's upset at Toyota for manufacturing a car with a catalytic converter that's welded into the center of it and tucked up into the transmission tunnel. She's infuriated, and she's like, it has the value of a MacBook or a laptop. All right, but what if you had a MacBook and a laptop in the trunk of your car, and then somebody popped the trunk and stole it, or busted the back window and stole the backpack that the laptop was in? Would that infuriate you? And then would that be on Toyota for not putting cages around the cars? Like, she's saying this thing's as much as a laptop. Okay, then what if somebody, let's just say there was a diminutive Asian young woman sitting at a cafe working on a laptop, and then somebody ran up and stole the laptop from her? Would that be her fault, or is that Apple's fault? Whose fault? Like, isn't it Apple's fault for making something that's worth something?
That's valuable? Yeah.
And by the way, they didn't even weld the laptop in. That thing's just loose, man.
Loose, yeah.
That's loose.
That's removable.
If somebody puts the laptop on the passenger seat of the car and then somebody breaks into the car, is that Apple's fault? Or is that Toyota's fault?
By her logic, it's Apple's fault.
It's Apple's fault.
Yeah.
Okay. And would she be really angry? Because she's angry at Toyota for making something so easy to steal. All you have to do, well, we'll play the rest of the clip because it makes me laugh.
Device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car.
All right, let's pause for a second. Like, anytime you have to jack up a vehicle and climb underneath the vehicle, that's not incredibly easy to access.
Agreed.
I'd say like a fender-mounted antenna, maybe a headrest that you could pull out, maybe fuzzy dice, hanging from the rear view, or like maybe even a stereo speaker or something, but welded in the middle of the car, tucked under the car.
You need a special tool.
You need, I've said, Sawzall, 18-volt, by-cutting metal blade, small can of WD-40 is how I roll. That's how I do it.
Give pointers.
And a kind of the mechanic's jack, like the kind of, God, what is that? Don't use a bottle jack or scissor jack is what I'm saying. All right, so she's angry at Toyota. Now, I don't know if this young actor guy was driving a Toyota, and then what if he was driving a Honda?
Either way, by her logic, the car company has blood on their hands.
All right, so this dipshit is making decisions about how we should live in Los Angeles. That's bad. And the fact that she was reelected, and she sounds like an idiot. She sounds like a complete buffoon. And we'll play it out. This is at the end. She sounds like a 9-year-old giving some sort of a book report about Huck Finn or something. Because listen to her at the end.
Put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car, and then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
But by the way, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. The manufacturer car that turns out not so easy to be stolen. But we're not talking about stealing the car. She sounds like a fucking retarded 9th grader. It's insane. And this is her second. She got revoted back in. And by the way, the LA City Council is 9 more of these fucking yentas. And that's why we're fucked. That's why when COVID comes along, we have world-class minds like this deciding our future. Should the beaches be closed? Yes. How about schools? Okay. How about churches? Yep. How about outdoor dining? Okay. What else should we close? Playgrounds? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, these are the people in charge. How about the SoFi Stadium? It just opened. Now we'll close that too. Yeah, these idiots are in charge, and this is why LA's becoming a dangerous piece of shit of a town, is because we let these idiots. And oh my God, Harvard? When did Harvard fall off a fucking cliff? You know what I mean? It's turned into a clown college in Sarasota, Florida. Like, what the fuck? When did it start delivering all these idiots to us and letting them? It's like unleashing idiots who ruin society with their horrible ideas. All right, so she's angry at Toyota. Toyota's not going to do anything about their catalytic converters because they shouldn't have to do anything any more than they should have to make. Look. The wheels and tires are easier to steal than a catalytic converter. What about that? Is that Toyota's fault? What if they just remove the hatch off the back of the car? Is that something they could resell? Like, where does it end? You're leaving computers in the car? What about your house? My TV is not bolted down. You could actually come into my home and lift it up and remove it. Is that on me? Or is that on LG? Or who is that on, according to this dumb shit?
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's not her, though. It's my mom who votes for these people. She's a strong woman of color. Okay, good. With a 10-cent head. And now we got a dead actor. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, and by the way, who are these guys? Do they have any descriptions or anything? No. So I'm trying to do the racially stereotype. And I go, oh, catalytic converter stealing. Yeah, that's Mexican. And then I go, but shot? Now we got to slide into other races here, so I don't know. By the way, the most dangerous people in the world are these people because someone just walks up their car and you go, oh, okay, I'll shoot you dead.
Right.
I figure I'm stealing $500 worth of precious metals in your catalytic converter. Ugh. Anyway, I saw this story, so I started tweeting about Nithya Raman. Ugh. It's not her. It's everyone who votes her in, and then once you get a whole bunch of hers, they form a city council, and now we're fucked. That's how it works. All right. But other than that, I got no thoughts.
Yeah. All right. So, an Ohio real estate investor is planning to take a 2-person submersible down to Titanic level depths.
I like this guy.
To prove that the journey can be carried out safely, after following the Titan sub implosion last year. So he's just like him, the investor. His name's Larry Connor, and this guy Patrick Leahy, who is the CEO of the Trident submarines. They're both going down just to show everybody, look, that was a fluke. That was a poorly made contraption that was controlled by a video game controller. This can actually be done right. Let us show you. They're going to take it down.
Well, I had a realization today as I was thinking about submarines earlier today, and I was thinking back to my young life where I was obsessed with building a submarine and operating a submarine, and how certain kids get obsessed with submarines. And I was a submarine obsessed kid, and I liked it not because I wanted to visit wreckage of the Titanic, but I liked the building, the mechanical part of like somehow controlling something underwater.
The periscope,
flipping switches, launching torpedoes. Like it sounded like the coolest thing ever. And then I realized, I think if you got a 7-year-old kid who's like obsessed with submarines, he's got the wrencher gene. That's a mechanical gene. It's a mechanical thing. It's not a love of the water. It's a love of the machinery. There's something that hits on some sort of visceral level about a submarine. I remember as a kid, we were going camping, not my parents, but like the hippie school I was at was going to some camping. There was like a little lake or something. And I was trying to build a submarine in the school garage when I was like 9. It was out of like cardboard and plywood scraps and stuff. And I had this whole fantasy about a submarine and building a submarine. I was sort of obsessed with that. And now it's just spilled over into cars and how easily catalytic converters can be removed from Toyotas. But I realize if your kid is into submarines, it's probably early onset wrencher gene. Like that's he's thinking mechanical. He's
not hearing thinking much about marine life or.
No, it's the submarine guys and the daughter who wants to save the whales are two totally different human beings. She's going to work, she's going to go all green on the environment and stuff like that. This guy's going to be doing engineering, like as a mechanical thing. It is the early onset mechanical engineering gene is submarine obsession.
And you like that these guys are going down?
I do.
Okay. Speaking of the water and the sea, they just did a Jaws reshowing.
I love this.
Massachusetts.
It's funny. Somebody just issued me a letter that the theater said that we in no way agree with things. So here's my new thing.
Well, let me tell the audience what happened first. So in Massachusetts, they did a reshowing of Jaws, and they had Richard Dreyfuss there for an interview. He walks up in a dress they're playing Taylor Swift's Love Story. He's looking pretty loose. That's the only video
you have. He's in a dress?
He walked up like in a dress, and then when he walks up to the front of the stage, he takes off the dress and puts on a jacket and laughs about it. He looks pretty loose. And then there's no more video of this. There's no transcripts. All we have are what the audience is posting online about what happened at this event.
Mm-hmm.
But according to the interviews with attendees, they said Dreyfuss quickly devolved into a hate-filled speech about women in film, the Me Too movement, LGBTQ rights, and about a third of the audience, hundreds of people, walked out mid-interview.
Good for Richard. So all I read was the statement from the theater that we don't support or condone or agree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Read that.
Okay. We are. So this is from the theater after hearing the outrage of Richard Dreyfuss's statements. They said, "We are aware of and share serious concerns following the recent event with Richard Dreyfuss prior to his screening of the film Jaws at the Cabot. That's a theater. The views expressed by Mr. Dreyfuss do not reflect the values of inclusivity.
All right. As soon as I hear do not reflect the values of inclusivity, I'm like, I don't know what he said, but I agree with all of them. I don't know what he said, but when they talk about our values, first off, you're a fucking movie theater. You have chairs with spring-loaded cushions and seats on them and a projector. You don't have values. You're a building with a projector and a screen and chairs, and you sell popcorn and jujubes. There is no values. So whenever I hear about their values, I always know I agree with the person that offended their values. But keep going, sir.
Okay. And they do not reflect the values of inclusivity and respect that we uphold as an organization. We deeply regret the distress that this has caused to many of our patrons. We are in active dialogue with our patrons about their experience and are committed to learning from this event.
Oh, when I hear learning from the event, I also know I agree with whatever whatever they said.
Some sort of teachable moment.
But this is the whole thing now. When they're like, Harrison Butker, the ladies from the... I'm like, I know I agree with everything this guy just said because you guys are outraged.
Yeah, there's some keywords that just tell you that.
Yes.
So,
good for... Look, Dreyfuss got FU money. He's old, and he's saying his piece. Good for him. And I'm sure I agree with everything he said.
Oh, so I mean, I have some of the statements that he said for recording users.
Let's do it.
Let's see. At one point, the crowd shouted at Dreyfuss after he said, quote, "It's not okay." He was talking about kids transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's not okay because when the kid's 15, she's going to say, "I'm an octopus."
Mm-hmm.
And he's against, quote, 10-year-olds who want to change their gender.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So.
I agree with everything he says. I'm sure. I already know what he said, but I know it offended him. And the guy played a marine biologist. I think he can talk about octopi. I found 56 seconds of him walking onto the stage. Well, that was online. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only footage. It's not really. See, he looks pretty
dancing.
loose. Taylor Swift's playing in the background. Some sort of comedic bit where he walks up.
The audience is cheering. I like it when old guys go nuts.
I played a private party where he sat front row. I played just some acoustic songs, and he was very respectful.
Oh, really?
Nice, and just sit and watch the whole set.
Listen. We're now living in a time, if you talk about not wanting 10-year-olds to transition or wives having important jobs like raising their family and having kids, it's considered heresy now, which is insane. He said muss up, but I wanted to drive his point home, so I used a little profanity. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Rick is a guy I admired from afar from quite some time, and now I get to do it in a much closer proximity. So I've always been a fan of Rick and his work and his process and what he's trying to do and what I still think he can do here in L.A. and possibly even in California. And yes. Yeah, we did a little poll. It's a partisan crowd, but I'm just a big fan of this guy, and I'm so glad that I've had an opportunity just to get to know him a little bit, and he's even better than I could have imagined. So thanks for doing this tonight, Rick.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for having me, and thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Just so you know, parking rates went up 500%. So on your way out.
Yeah, so we'll take some questions from the audience at some point. I thought we'd chat a little with Rick before that, and then we'll, again, take your questions. I think Alicia will run around with a microphone, and we can get into that. But I'm curious, so Rick, you and I may be one of the few people that were sort of born and bred here in Los Angeles. Almost everyone I know seems to be from somewhere else, but you're out here day one?
Day one, raised in West L.A. My parents, my dad was actually born in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. My grandparents on both sides were immigrants, came through Ellis Island. My paternal grandfather ended up in Uniontown as a coal miner, and my dad was actually born in the coal mining camp. And his family finally convinced them to move to the West Coast, and he moved to Boyle Heights and became a gardener. But yeah, me and my sister, my brother, were all raised here.
Yeah, when you have black lung at age 8, it's not a good sign.
Yeah. Well, and also he was the dynamiter.
Your
My grandfather
was the dynamiter,
which is never a long-term career path. You know, being the first guy in and having to get the heck out.
The dynamiter's like right up there with the king's food tester. It's just not a job where you retire. But that plunger thing, man, that's the greatest job ever. And then, of course, when the fat guy sits on it by mistake, hijinks ensue. So your grandfather was working the mines, Pennsylvania, and you came out here. Your dad came out here as a young man and was a gardener.
Grandfather was a gardener
when he came out to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't think a lot of people know or remember this, but if you're in Los Angeles long enough, gardener was a job that anyone did. It was there were a lot of Japanese gardeners in LA back in the day. It's a sort of Mr. Miyagi thing. My grandparents had a gardener, and he was a Japanese gardener. And the reason I sort of bring that up is because everyone can go through, a gardening phase, but then you should pass through it, meaning education and college and all that. And then your son doesn't become a gardener. He becomes a landlord. So that's sort of, and he has someone else do the gardening. But the point is your dad of all people was out here as the Italian gardener back.
Oh, my grandfather.
Oh, your grandfather, sorry.
Right.
Out here from Pennsylvania, from the coal mines.
Leaving the coal mines.
And so he came out here and had your dad out here? Or your dad was only like 7?
My grandmother, my grandfather, and they had 3 boys. Mm-hmm. And they lived in Boyle Heights in a little triplex. They had one of the apartments.
And
Boyle Heights in those days, not to interrupt you, but that was like the old Italian Jewish neighborhood of LA. So it was a logical place for an Italian immigrant to end up.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because I'm Italian, and this city does not have a little Italy. It has a little Ethiopia. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you get a little Italy first, and then at some point you get little Ethiopia, time permitting. But you don't get little Ethiopia, no little Italy. We need a little Italy, Paisan. I mean, somebody's got to spearhead this because we need a place to get gelato and listen to guys play the mandolin. We don't have any of that out here, which is weird because I don't know. Obviously New York has it's going to have little Soviet Union coming up, so that's a little communism. It's going to have Stalintown, next, but at least for now they have a little Italy. So I'd like you to spearhead that once you get into charge. And it's a little early in the evening, but I know you're talking about doing something, and I'm guessing I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think I'll speak for you.
Okay. I'll go sit over there.
Rick's the kind of guy. No, I feel like you would like to go on with your life and build all your amazing projects and enjoy all the fruits of your labor. But this town, the city, and the state have come so unraveled over the last 20 years or so that you feel compelled to get involved. Is that true?
I feel compelled to a point, but I also do like public service. So there's 2 sides of it. I do see our city at the edge of a cliff and certainly heading in the wrong direction. And I do see our state definitely heading in the wrong direction. And I do enjoy taking very complex problems, taking them apart and putting them back together. And I love public service. There's a guy right here named Art Castellum. I'll embarrass Art. Art used to work in the city for Tom Bradley. And 40 years ago, Art, I was tapped by Tom Bradley to be a Department of Water and Power commissioner and worked with Art under Tom Bradley. And I really fell in love with public service. So I like that, but I'm getting pushed in a lot of different directions. There's no question. But I feel fortunate that I'm getting pushed.
Is it possible to unravel the bureaucracy and to actually make things work? And I know sort of as a builder, you want to hit the ground running. It's all, I've sort of explained to people all the time, because I had a background in building as well. It's sort of hurry, 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 and subs. Who are your subs? Now, I think you see that with Donald Trump. Trump wants to build, and then he wants to surround himself with good subs who can get the job done, because building is always sort of about, well, we got to get the land graded, and then we got to do the foundation, and then where's the framing, and then where's the exterior guys, and what about the drywall guys, what about the door and window guys? It's like boom, 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 like what's holding us up? Let's go. And every guy I know who does building, especially commercial stuff, it has a sort of hit the ground running versus a kind of Karen Bass, you know what I mean? Maybe I'll just go to Ghana and find a hammock and stretch out a little bit. And you could see it when they had that little meeting after the big fire. Trump was screaming, let's go, let's do it now. People can clean up their own lots. And she was yelling, slow down. We don't want to, safety first. So I think your instinct as a builder is to fix things, but with the bureaucracy, can you navigate that world?
Oh, I think so. I know so. I'm not worried about that. And I think that's part of the fun of getting in office and not being a career politician and not be beholden to a whole bunch of rules. You have to go in there with a new set of eyes and really clear thinking and say, I think first and foremost, what is your number one duty? And I think this is the biggest problem we have now with our elected officials. They're more in for serving themselves and getting reelected than serving the people they took an oath to serve. And if you start by saying, I'm going to go serve the residents, how are we going to do this? You will find ways to get things done. And that's not meaning you're going to go and break the laws and all this kind of stuff, but you're going to get creative, you're going to be innovative, you have a sense of urgency and determination. And I think the people around you that are in the city, that are probably bored to death, or in the state, that are bored to death because very little happens, would just enjoy the energy of forward momentum for once in their life. So I find that exhilarating, to be honest. I find the challenge to be exhilarating. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it doable? Yes.
What did you make of the recent article in the LA Times talking about the fire and how it was started a week earlier and how it smoldered for, I guess, 7 days, and the battalion commander pulled the guys off, but there's texts back and forth saying that the guys thought that they should stay behind. What does that mean to you, and how did that sort of compute with you?
Listen, it was tough to read. I don't think it was a surprise to many of us that were in the Palisades. I think many of us were saying from the beginning this fire was completely preventable. I know I was saying that, and I was being ridiculed for saying that, but it was clear we had a fire a week before. And I think, Adam, this goes to exactly what we have in the city of LA, and to a great extent what we have in the state of California. We have the epitome of incompetence, and we are paying a dear price. In the Palisades, 7,000 homes burnt down, thousands of people, families were impacted, thousands and thousands of people lost their jobs, all because of incompetence. And it starts with the mayor. It's just a matter of fact. Because what we haven't heard from the mayor, and I'm not trying to beat her up, I'm just talking about facts. If you were the mayor of LA and this report came out, the first thing you would do, if you had been prepared, would stand up at a podium and say, let me walk you through the 24 meetings I had with city departments to be prepared for these catastrophic winds that were coming. Not a word of that. Didn't even respond to the after-action report. It was crickets. So what I've said, and I will continue to say, I think now we're in cover-up mode.
Right.
And the cover-up is always a bigger problem for somebody than the actual negligence or crime or bad deed. And I really feel for people, including our own family that lost homes, but I really feel for people that don't have a lot of options, that were wiped out financially, lost their homes, lost their neighborhoods, lost their community, lost their schools, their churches, their synagogues, their way of life. And it was 100% preventable. The largest disaster that I'm aware of that could have been so easily prevented. And somebody needs to pay, a group of people really need to be held accountable. And I'm talking about maybe even criminally accountable for what they did.
Well, I spoke to you when we were doing our vlog, and you were explaining how you essentially prevented it from happening on your property in the Palisades. And I'm wondering if you'd just sort of share that with the audience, because, you know, we hear about private fire department, and I don't know if most people know how that works. Now, of course, my dad had a fire department when I was growing up, but many of you did not have what Jim Carolla had, which is a private fire department. Yeah, I had a Dalmatian. I used to ride in the back of the truck. Chili every night, foosball. It was awesome. But I didn't really know how it worked, how essentially having a private fire department worked. And it was an interesting process, and it's also how they mobilized before the fire, I thought was interesting, and also sort of spoke to you and your abilities as well. So could you just sort of walk us through how that would work?
Sure, but I think, again, Adam, this goes to having executive skills, where one of them, which is really important, is to ask questions.
Right.
Right? So if you're the mayor of LA and you had a fire on January 1st and you're getting texts on your phone saying there's life-threatening catastrophic winds, you probably start out with the first question, are we prepared and how are we prepared? I mean, it's just anybody can do that. Now, this gentleman standing right there, I'll embarrass him, Banyan with the red tie on, we're building the Miramar and up in Montecito, and we've got a fire coming over the hill heading towards the Miramar. We're in framing. You know framing very well.
Sure.
And
studs, trimmers, headers, joists, top plates, bottom plates, shear wall. I'll keep going.
Sounds sexy. Okay. And Banyan and I were on the phone, and also our CEO, Corinne. And the simple question was, how do we protect ourselves if this fire keeps coming at us? And the local fire department up in Montecito in Santa Barbara County, we know and should first respond to the homes, not the commercial buildings. And we're just in framing. They're not going to want to waste their time on us. And Banyan put together a plan and came back to Corinne and I and said, we've got private firefighters. I think you brought them in from Arizona. I got water trucks coming in, and I got retardant trucks coming in. Now, fortunately, we didn't have to use them. We had them stationed, and that was a terrible fire, if you remember. And then after that fire, we had the rains up in Montecito, Santa Barbara, right? Flooded. We had people lost their homes. They lost their lives, the freeway. So we went through a terrible patch up there. So we're building Palisades. We know we're in a fire zone. And the first thing that we did was we built a project that didn't have any combustible material. So what looks like wood is really concrete formed to look like wood. And we didn't have exterior vents. Most of the homes that were burned down in Palisades and Altadena burned from the inside out. The embers got through the vents, went inside the house. So we designed it to withstand a fire as best possible and still make it look beautiful. And then, of course, Banyan had a plan up on a shelf in a binder. And when it said life-threatening catastrophic winds coming, And we knew there was a fire a week before. Banyan calls up and says, I'm putting the plan into place. And 2 days, what was it, 2 or 3 days before? 2 days before, firefighters, fire trucks, water tanks, and retardant. And we're there, stationed, ready to go. Now, I would just say, and then I'll let you ask, think about, had the city of LA done that? In one spot, that's all they had to be, was in one spot, be pre-deployed. And they never were.
Yeah, if you have a chance to go up to Mescal Canyon, which I have on a couple occasions, and you go to the top and you look over the devastation, you just see nothing but scorched earth and vacant lots. Now they've been cleared. And then you see Caruso's facility, and it just sits there like a jewel in the desert. Everything around it is completely gone, and you would think to yourself, well, what did this person do differently than what was around it? And that's prepare. I think the statement you like, and I don't want to paraphrase, but I've heard you say before, if it's preventable.
What's predictable is preventable.
What's predictable is preventable, which is a very, very good.
But listen, I'm really proud. I mean, I'm really proud of our team, what they did. Thank you. Very proud of our team, what they did. I'm also even more proud of the fact we saved the whole block of buildings on our side and the whole block of buildings on the other side. And what that's allowing is businesses are reopening now. They're all small businesses, local businesses. And it's also going to give Palisades at least a part of a downtown to come back to, right? And I'm really excited. We're going to reopen the Village in August, better than ever. And it's going to be great.
I look forward to going by there for a $19 coffee.
Now we're
medium, not a small. Let's not throw any shade.
I didn't know we had coffee that cheap, but that's okay.
$19. I mean, with tip, obviously, but I'm not a big tipper, so it's still expensive. Yeah, I know one of the things I think we're simpatico on here, Rick, is that how trashy this town is. It drives me nuts to drive through this town and look at so much graffiti and garbage. And for some reason, the one that always gets me is the kids' toys. I just hear the little kids singing off the side of the 5 freeway. But, when they say you can judge a culture by its prisons. I think you can judge it by its highways. Because I travel the country constantly. I play shows everywhere, every state in the union. And when you're from California and you land in Wisconsin or you land in Kentucky or anywhere, and you're driving along the highway, you always go, wow, it's so nice. Like, it's clean. It's well maintained. The roads are nice. There's not graffiti and garbage everywhere. And L.A. is just trashy. And I think California, and I think about those sort of postcards from the 50s and that kind of California that we all have, in the rear view mirror of the 55 Bel Air, but that grew up with sort of thing. And I also think of California and Los Angeles as sort of on the vanguard of, recycling and ecologies, we used to say, and environment and stuff. So to have it be so trashy and dirty, it feels so counter to what we're supposed to be, this sort of shining golden state, not golden shower state because a hobo took a leak on you.
Whoa.
Well, sorry. I'm just riffing here, Rick. You knew this was going to be a popularity contest coming up here. But the point is I want to clean this place up, and it drives me nuts to see it this way. It really does. And it doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
And one of the things I think when you were talking about making a run for mayor, you said day one you're going to hire 1,000 sanitation workers or some version of that. But why is it acceptable? I guess, why do we permit this?
Well, you're absolutely right. Listen, in the city, and I've been going all over the state, so I don't travel as much as you do around the country, but I've been going all over the state. And there's parts of the state that are just beautifully clean. And it even aggravates me even more. You don't even have to go that far.
Oh, you get into Orange County.
Yeah.
When you go into Orange County, you know you're in Orange County, not from a sign, but from not being inside a pothole and not seeing barbed wire on the freeway signs and a shopping cart with the hobo in it on the side of the freeway. Like all of a sudden it opens up, it gets smooth, it gets green, it gets nice. Like it's doable.
It's doable.
It's 21 miles from here.
Yeah.
It's
well, I must say, Glendale's a very clean city.
well, that's
So-
yes.
And we love having. We've got a big investment in Glendale, and it's been one of the great cities to partner with. So, and I'm not saying that just because the mayor's there. No, I actually am, Laura. I'm saying that no.
I love the Armenian community, by the way. If that helps. Mark Garagos is a dear friend. A dear friend. Sorry,
But we
go
do
ahead.
we do love Glendale. They've been a great partner to invest with.
Right,
No,
so it
but with
doesn't have
here's
to
a
be
problem
that
in the
way.
city of LA. Here's a problem in the city of LA. And most people don't know this because it doesn't get out. The city of LA this year was $1 billion over budget.
Billion.
And for the first time, I think, in 20 years, had declining revenues. So just think about if you ran your home this way. You're over budget and declining income. You end up going out of business. It's unsustainable. Now, what they did was the mayor and the city council played a lot of magic tricks and was able to sort of move things around so it balanced out. But they also doubled the fees, believe it or not, of trash collection. So it made the cost of living for everybody in Los Angeles even higher, and the cost of living in LA is already too high. It needs to come down, which is one thing I would focus on statewide or citywide. But so what happens? City services are cut.
Right.
I can't tell you the last time I saw a street cleaner driving down the city of Los Angeles on a street. Has anybody seen one?
No.
They've
Well,
literally stopped them.
hold on. You see the meter maid who's writing tickets because the invisible street cleaner's coming between 11 and 4 p.m., but the street cleaner never shows up. The ticket shows up, but not the street cleaner.
That's a good point. So that's the problem. I mean, the city does not have the money to provide the services. And city council member Yaroslawski was saying this, which I posted. Her words were, city services suck, and they're going to get worse. And that was a statement she made at city council. And that's where the city of LA is right now. It's in a bad place.
Is that the mayor there? Because I'm a problem solver. I am. Now I'm thinking back. I brought up Mark Garagos. I was at a party at his house, and he has, folks around who are in the community and the government, things like that. And I ran into a guy who was like, I don't know, district selectman of Burbank or something like that. I don't know what his job was, but he did something. And I said to him, I got a shop, my studio's over in Burbank, and behind me is a side street, runs along the side of the freeway, and construction materials dumped there on a daily basis. They just dump, it's busted up stucco, it's 2x4s. They dump it because they do jobs, and the dump costs a lot of money. It costs, a couple $100 to dump the busted up stucco, tile, concrete, or what have you. And the guys that are doing the work don't have a lot of money, and that cuts into their bottom line. And I'm not talking about big-time commercial stuff. I'm just talking about, remod residential stuff, probably no permit. They demo it out. They throw it in the back of the pickup truck, and instead of heading out to Sun Valley or going to the dump and paying a couple $100, they just go Sunday night after the sun goes down, go the back street and just dump it. And you see this stuff sort of dumped all over. You see sofas and beds and sort of junk just dumped all over the city. And I was talking to this guy, and I said, you guys ought to start a thing that says you can dump for free. You can bring your stuff here. I said, go out front of the Home Depots, hand out flyers, tell them they'll get a 12-pack of Tecate if they drop it off. Let's not take a turn here for the ethnic, but let's face it, it's a certain group. They do construction. I work with these people, and they're dumping it off. So let them know they can take it and dispose of it properly. And he said, you know what? That's a really good idea. And I said, yeah, to save you all the, you got to clean it up as the city anyway. Eventually, you're going to drive around and pick it up eventually. It's going to cost you money. He said, that's a good idea. I said, you're welcome. And then about a half hour later, he circled back to me at the party, and he goes, what was that idea again? And I thought, oh, man, we are doomed.
Yeah.
This is never going to happen. But, yeah, a lot of it's just basic common sense stuff. And it bothers me that L.A. is that way. It's I guess it's an efficiency thing that bothers me. It's not an efficient city.
No, it's far from an efficient city. But listen, everybody knows this because we've driven around L.A., and it really is sad. I mean, we can joke about it, and it's good to joke about it, I guess, to relieve some of the tension. To drive around the city to see the amount of people that are passed out on the sidewalks, the homeless, to see the amount of drug dealing that's going on, to look at MacArthur Park, the amount of people that are dying in the streets every day, 5 to 7 people every day die in the streets in the city of L.A. on the street, the amount of trash that's built up, just the trash from the homeless that's built up. It's terrible. And the impact of it is incredible because all of these businesses that are along these streets just pay this dear price because you don't want to shop there, right? You look at downtown LA is now it's some 40% vacancy rate. And that's bad for the people that own those buildings. It's really bad for the couple that owns the local pizza parlor, that has the local florist, that has the local dry cleaner. The downstream impact of this is massive, and that's why so many businesses are closing, and that's why the revenue of Los Angeles is going down. This isn't rocket science. There's nothing complicated about it.
Well, I was in Sherman Oaks, of all places, a couple of weeks ago, and I was just going to a little mom and pop place selling covers for sunlight, solar roof, whatever, just some hardware. And it was like noon on a Tuesday, and I went to go to this business, and the door was locked. And I was like, oh, are you not open? And the woman came around, and she unlocked it. She goes, no, we're open, but so many homeless people wander in here that I just have to keep the door locked. And I mean, it's symbolic, but you are open for business, except for your door remains locked on a weekday when you're open for business and the sun is shining because we are not running the city correctly. We're not handling the homeless situation correctly. Billions of dollars wasted on that. What would be an approach you would have to that problem?
You know, we've got organizations in this region, Adam, that are doing just exceptional work. Downtown Women's Center, Union Rescue Mission, the People's Concern. They take people from the streets in. They give them the services they need, mental health care, drug addiction. They give them housing. They have a 90% effective rate, meaning 90% of the people that are walking in are getting a better life, and they're staying there, and they're getting the treatment. They're not leaving, getting back in the street. Instead of spending billions of dollars in doing this crazy thing, Home Safe or whatever the hell it's called, where you're renting in a hotel and you're putting a homeless person in a hotel without any services, they're not going to stay in there. They're just bouncing right back on the street. Residents out in Encino called me a while ago to go look at Sepulveda Basin. So I went out there last week. They've been trying to get the mayor out there for a year, they said. The Sepulveda Basin, along where the soccer fields are and the baseball fields are where all the kids play, behind the hedging and the greenery and whatnot, there's 300 to 400 people living.
Yeah.
I walked in there, the encampments, you can't believe it. And so I looked at it. I said, okay, because I'm all for solving things. It's easy to state a problem. To your point, what's the solution? I called a great group that's doing incredible work for the homeless called Hope the Mission. I said, would you meet me out there? Army Corps of Engineers offered to meet me out there. We all met. Literally within 10 minutes, Hope the Mission said we can get everybody housed at an average cost of $100 a day. $100 a day. The city of Los Angeles is spending $900,000 per homeless to house them. This is $35,000 a year versus $900,000. So what should we be doing? The city should be redirecting funds to people concerned. Downtown Women's Center, Union Rescue Mission, Hope for the Mission. Give them the funds to build and start housing people and getting them off the street. It's just so logical. Why does LA and LA County and the state of California, the state's just as bad, have the largest homeless population than anywhere else in the world? That's what we got here. And and it's just because it's laziness, it's people don't have the backbone or the courage. I remember when I was running for mayor, the hit on me was, you want to criminalize homelessness. No. We want to give people a path to a better life. And we want to give people their neighborhoods back, their businesses back.
Well, also...
And it's illegal to be on the street.
Well, I don't get, like, what's compassionate about watching someone expire on the street?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you wouldn't do that with a dog. Say, well, let him OD on fentanyl biscuits on the street because you're compassionate. There's nothing compassionate about letting somebody die on the streets. Have you been to MacArthur Park lately? Oh, someone left the cake out in the rain again. That's a song.
Yeah,
Rick. I know.
I feel sorry for Norm Langers. I mean, put it into personal terms. Norm Langer is one of the great restaurateurs. Langers is
Deli?
The Deli.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It is an LA institution. You got to put this thing into personal terms. Norm Langers has been there for like 50, 60 years. He's one of the best damn delis in the world, right across from MacArthur Park. He's been screaming for help from the mayor and the city council because of the amount of drug addiction, people dying, homeless. I went down with my family for lunch. There's homeless sleeping in his doorways. He now closes at 3 p.m. because it's so dangerous there. And now he's threatening to close full time. It doesn't have to be this way.
It's so negligent of the city. I have a few stories. One I think I shared with you, and I've talked about on the podcast before, but it does bear repeating, which is I was on a boat heading to Catalina with a guy who ran the crypto Staples Center back then. By the way, his boat wasn't as big as yours. Your boat's much bigger boat. I'm going to upset you. Not even close. Dingy compared to your stuff. Don't get me wrong. But a boat. I'll go on anyone's boat.
Now you love him. It was fun having you aboard.
It was fun being aboard. The boat I was on was the size of the boat that took me to your boat. Let's put it to you that way. So don't feel threatened with the boat envy. But I was on a boat. I was going to Catalina, and the guy was running crypto. And he was in charge. And I was talking about what's that like running that facility and the different venues and the bands and all that kind of stuff. And I said to him, I took my son to a Lakers game a while back, and I opened the door to walk out the exit and literally almost tripped over a guy selling hot dogs with bacon wrapped around it on a shopping cart on your property, right up in there. So these guys are all over the place. They're on your property. He goes, "Oh, are you kidding me? I hate it." I go, "Yeah, you hate it. I would think you'd hate it because you have all these other restaurants and people trying to do business in here, and you're selling food in your venue, and these guys are up against the door. They're not out on the street. They're on your property." He pulls his phone out. He goes, "Here's how much I hate." He pulls his phone out and shows me a picture of one of those grills with the hot dogs on there, and there's a giant cockroach on the grill, next to the hot dog. And he shows me the picture, and he goes, "I hate it." I said, "Well, you of all people should be able to do something about it because you run this facility. And, you know, it really, at the time, sort of ushered back downtown's renaissance and Staples Center, now crypto. And, you know, how much, revenue do you generate for the city with all the concerts and all the events and the sporting events and everything? I go down to city council and tell those people to clean this crap up. And he said to me, I don't want to get into trouble. And I thought, you don't want to get into trouble?
What does that mean, though?
He said, if I go in there and upset these people by telling them to get rid of these people who they think of, that's their constituency. I mean, I think the LA City Council feels like they work for the people selling the hot dogs, not the guys running the crypto center. He literally said, I don't want to upset these people because they'll have it out for me if I go in there, so just leave it be. And I thought, wow, we've really come a long way here, and not in the right direction, right? That this guy who's a contributor and a taxpayer who's running this multi-billion-dollar industry here, he is worried about the city council taking it out on him if he just asked them to do their job. Right. And that's kind of why we're here today. Also, as far as the homeless goes, I was re-listening to a conversation I had with Gavin Newsom on the homeless earlier this week, and I told him it was drugs and it was people that had mental issues, and he told me about the true face and the real picture of homelessness, which was a mom with 2 kids and a full-time job whose husband left and was out on the streets. And I said, that doesn't exist. No one's ever seen that. It's all people who are drug addicts and are going through serious mental issues. And he said, that's not the true face of homelessness. Now, this is several years ago, but how would one solve the problem if one didn't identify the problem? You as a builder want to know what the problem is. And then you go, okay, how do we remedy this problem? That's all you do. You go, what's the problem? I go, here's the problem. You go, here's how we're going to fix this problem. But you would never make up an invisible problem and then try to remedy it with pixie dust, which is why we have this problem. They're not identifying what the problem is. We have a fire that takes down the Palisades, and he wants to blame it on climate change, not on not having the aqueducts filled and not having the proper resources dispatched.
Well, listen, you're preaching to the choir with me. And what makes it even more frustrating to me now that I've been going around the state talking to people, I was up at Bakersfield talking to some of the largest farmers in the state. I was in Sacramento for a dinner talking to the petroleum industry, listening to them. Been up in San Francisco a number of times with a bunch of the tech CEOs. Nobody feels like the state has their back.
Right.
Everybody feels like they're fighting the system just to stay alive. And I know that's the feeling people have in LA. And it's like, why? Why is it so difficult to run a business? You take a look at, and I don't think a lot of people in California realize this, most of the oil generation, the petroleum generation in the state of California is going to close. And it's going to close under the guise of it's environmentally better to not have these refineries. I don't think so, because we are an energy island, which means all of the gas and oil that we need are going to be coming in on trucks on the highway to replace it. Talking to the farmers, so overregulated for what they do. Now, there's some regulation that you need, but they're trying to be competitive with other states. Look at our entertainment industry. You're in the business. It's getting destroyed in Los Angeles and the state of California.
Well, yeah.
But again, I don't want to just be negative. To me, what's interesting is all of it can be changed with the right attitude and a different perspective.
Yeah.
It just can.
I agree. Go ahead and applaud. Thank you.
Can I just give an example?
Yes.
And again, I'm not just kowtowing to Glendale here, but we're sitting in a place and I was up in the office talking to one of my fellow executives.
He was yelling at his assistant, but go ahead. I was there. Mr.
But in a very nice way. And Laura, I was recounting what this area looked like 20 years ago. There was 4 city blocks that looked like hell. Nobody wanted to be down here. South of Glendale. South Brand was dead. North Brand was booming, right? And the city had the foresight to say, we're going to get all of this real estate. We're going to do a competition. We're going to hire somebody that will invest a lot of money and redevelop it. And now you got South Brand is booming. And then the city is building housing and apartments and all this other kind of stuff. That was a simple decision that took a lot of courage, but it was a smart decision. I would say change the face of the city, because the city said, we're going to be a very competitive city and attract businesses. We're going to increase our tax revenue. We're going to pump it into more police and our schools. None of this. It takes courage and backbone and obviously intellect and competency, but it's all fixable, is my point.
Yeah, and
we should go fix it.
I agree. It's reversible as well. If you've hung around long enough, you would see that places like Old Town Pasadena were falling apart and getting dicey and dangerous, and had a renaissance because somebody said, let's make Old Town Pasadena nice again. Even, and sort of weirdly, Melrose, which was sort of dark and dicey, and then got nice, and now is getting dark and dicey again. Like it'll go either direction. You either, it's basically a plant, and you can tend to it and prune it and fertilize it and look after it, or you can just sit back and watch it die and weeds pop up around it. It's work. It's constant and it's consistent. But as you were talking about the industry was obviously, the entertainment industry was something we sort of had a monopoly on for many years, and then we do what we do, which is we get super greedy and we overregulate, and the industry just was insane. Like, you would union this and union that, guys driving vans getting $150 an hour. A PA couldn't run out and move a van. You had to get the Teamster to move the van. Before you know it, it just got too expensive to film in Los Angeles. If you take a look at like 2 of the most progressive types, let's just say, in the industry, you take Samuel L. Jackson, very progressive. Bryan Cranston, very progressive guy. They both live in Los Angeles. Bryan Cranston, I drove to the Burbank airport so we could get on a plane, so we could go to New Mexico, so we could shoot Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was supposed to be shot here in California, but we got too greedy, and the production, and it doesn't matter, and my point is it doesn't matter how liberal you are or how woke you are or how much you ring that bell, pay your fair share, or when is enough enough. They'll get on the first flight and go to New Mexico and take the entire circus with them if it means saving some money and putting it in their pocket, because ultimately whatever they say, they're business people first. And when I was doing a show in Canada, and I was, Mike, where was it? Winnipeg. Beautiful. Mike booked me there in January. It's awesome there, man. I brought my swim trunks. It was 37 degrees below. We're in the Burton Cummings Theater in Winnipeg. So I check in a hotel in Winnipeg in January, because Mike thought it'd be a good idea to play Winnipeg in January. And I go up to my floor, and the guys from the hotel, he's walking me down to my room, and he goes, look, I'm not supposed to say anything, but the guy at the suite at the end, that's Samuel L. Jackson. I go, okay. He goes, he's shooting a movie. He's here for like 5 months. I go, oh, what's he doing to shoot a movie in Winnipeg? Well, it's not Winnipeg. It's supposed to be Chicago. So the whole point is the most progressive guy in LA will get on a plane and leave the country and live there for 5 months to save a couple of bucks in taxes and on the production gladly. So people will leave to save money, or they'll happily stay here if you make it attractive for them. It's super easy to turn it around. For some reason, we don't seem to be inspired by that, and I think it's because of their mentality. They're dogs that don't hunt. They're process people. They want to talk about everything. They want to have a meeting about everything. They want a discussion group about everything, but they never want to roll up their sleeves and just go to work. And the guys who have the background in development and construction and building and commercial, they're all about solving problems and working. And that's why I'm always for the person who is from the private sector who wants to come in and bring that mentality to the government versus the lifelong bureaucrat.
I'm with you on that.
Well, why wouldn't you be? Because I'm talking about you. Here, here.
But I would also just add to that, just from the state level, our elected officials on the state level are so proud to say we're the 4th largest economy in the world, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Larger economy than India, Japan. Incredible. Well, if we're the 4th largest economy in the world, why don't we act like it? And why don't we have the best schools? Why don't we have the best housing? Why aren't we competitive with making a film in Winnipeg, in London, in Atlanta, right? In New Jersey? Netflix just opened a huge facility in New Jersey. The other states and countries are eating our lunch. Well, we're the 4th largest economy. Use the power of our economy to keep the business here and grow it. It's just so simple to me to think about it that way. So to your point, we should be competitive, because I don't think anybody wants to go spend 5 months in Winnipeg. I shouldn't say that. The people from Winnipeg here, but
A lot of good folk from Winnipeg.
yeah, I guess we're not
Here
doing
today.
a project in Winnipeg anytime soon. Yeah, that's the end of that retail center.
Well, obviously everyone here is interested in a change of direction, and you represent that. And I know you're playing it a little bit close to the vest, but could you give us some hints on what Rick Caruso may be doing in the future?
Well, there's no announcement tonight. I ran into people outside saying, I'm so excited to hear about your announcement you're making tonight. I said, the only announcement I'm making tonight is where I'm going to dinner afterwards. But what's that?
I mean,
Well, maybe we should. Okay, let's see. Can we do that? Can we do
yeah,
it?
let's do it.
Let's do a round of applause for Mayor. Okay. Wow. That's pretty robust. Okay. I appreciate that very much. All right. Governor? Whoa. I know. What do you think?
It was close, but I would say mayor inched out governor. But
Wow.
of course,
Wow.
these people are selfish bastards. They want you all for their own. They don't want to share you with Sacramento.
But
And by the way, what would you do as governor with that bullet train? Like, what do we put a bullet in the bullet
yeah,
train?
you put a bullet in the bullet
Like
train.
Old Yeller?
Yeah, that
Take it behind the wood shop?
that's going to be a monument to something. Yeah, it's going to stop. It's going to be a monument to something.
Well, it's interesting, and as I think about you saying a monument, something popped in my head. But I made a documentary about racing, and it was Ford versus
Do you know this guy
Ferrari.
races cars? Very impressive. Yeah, he's a really skilled racer. At least that's what he told me for hours on end.
Yeah, well, I told you to leave that part off when you brought it up. Just make it seem organic. But anyway, for the next one. Now, I made a documentary about Ford versus Ferrari, and you saw the movie with Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Yeah, it was a good movie and a good story, and I made the story before the feature, and I called it the 24-Hour War, which I think is a better name because it's the 24 hours in Le Mans, they went to war. But anyway, when we were interviewing, we went down to Modena, and we were interviewing the Ferrari guys. Ferrari has a room in his sort of boardroom. You may want to implement this. He doesn't have the plaques and the trophies on display. He has parts that broke.
Wow.
He has,
That's
$10 parts that broke 23 hours into Le Mans and stopped him from winning the race.
Wow.
Like, he puts on display all the monuments of stuff they got wrong. And again,
I love that idea.
you're running the 24-hour Le Mans, they get put out by parts that cost 50 cents sometimes.
Yeah.
Gaskets and rings and things that go bad. Like, just little bitty things happen in a 24-hour race, and it puts the entire car's out. It's not because the engine blew up. It's because a gasket gave way or something like that. So he leaves these as reminders to people to really focus on their work. And maybe we should do that with the bullet train.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just make it a monument to California's inefficiencies and basically take school kids there on buses, by the way, not electric buses, diesel buses, and walk them through and say, you see what happens, kids, when you dare to dream, but you're stupid? This is where you end up. Everyone tells you to dare to dream, but not dumb people. Don't dream, dumb people. You end up with a dumb train that goes nowhere.
Oh, that's a classic.
But what do
Well,
you...
at least we have a plan for that now.
Yes, I have now. I'll put me in charge of the education system. I'll talk some sense into these kids. No, I would like to be transportation czar. I'd like to be I'd like to be the traffic czar. We've discussed that
Yes,
before.
we have. Yep.
I was literally driving from Malibu into Glendale on Sunday, and it was about 9:30 in the morning. I was just driving down the 10, and I passed one of those big electronic freeway signs that normally say "click it or ticket," because none of us have gotten the message about seatbelts in 2025. I don't know if you've heard, but there's this nylon strip in your car that goes across your chest. I'll talk to you about it after the show. It's quite an innovation. But it always says click it or ticket. But this time it said something equally as useless. It said, if you're drowsy, pull over and sleep. And I thought, what am I going to do, pull over in Westwood? I'm heading to the 405 off the 10. I mean, put it out on the grapevine at 3 a.m. for the long-haul truckers that ran out of speed, but it's 9:30 Sunday morning. Why don't you just pull into Westlake Village or Westchester or where should I, what is this information on this sign for? Who's watching it? And why can't we just say, use your damn signal? Or something useful, or stay out of the fast lane if you're going 45, or like something, or just drive like champions. Something motivational.
There you go.
Anything, or as I've said, sell the sign to Taco Bell.
Yeah, make some money off
Make some money off
There you
it.
go.
Put that into the school system, right?
There you go.
Thank you, but
you should
pull over when you're drowsy on Sunday at 9:30 in the morning, driving through Westwood on the 405. Useless. All right, a serious question for you, Rick.
Okay.
All right, because this is something that's near and dear to me, and I'd like to know what you think about this or what you would do to remedy it. I drive up and down PCH on an almost daily basis, and I go to all the construction sites, and I see everyone that's working, and I went up to the Palisades and toured a site and saw the crew that was on the site. It was a lot of framers, HVAC guys, electricians, plumbers, blah, 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 all of them. Nobody from the inner city. No black kids. This entire place. It's mostly Hispanic, mostly all Hispanic. They're all working the trades, and good for them. But I always think about the kids in the inner city, these young guys, they're not going to college, they're getting recruited into gangs, they're getting into trouble, they're rudderless, there's nowhere to go. AI is going to replace everybody, but not the trades guys. It'd be so easy to recruit these guys and teach them a trade. They'd have some dignity. It's the hourly wage, by the way, you know better than anybody. I mean, I said to the guy, what are these guys getting paid? They're getting $250, $350, $400 a day. All these guys. And they're all working. They're driving the equipment. They're framing. They're doing everything. They're making a good wage. You don't need 4 years of college. You don't have to build up debt to do it. You can basically be on the job site at 18 years old. By the time you're 21, you're off and running. And you have a skill and you have some pride. And you work around these guys. They're content. There's a thing about a guy who has a skill, who knows how to put things together, who has a field of expertise. There's a dignity to it, and there's a pride to it. There's a sense of purpose to it. And these guys aren't joining gangs, and they're not out all night, and they're not getting into trouble. And I don't understand why this city doesn't, especially after the Palisades, after Malibu, and after Altadena, doesn't go into these cities with these broken families and these inner cities and get these kids and recruit them into these vocational programs.
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. You know, one of the things we lost in this region, in the state, are trade schools.
Yes.
And we got to bring, I mean, that's something I've long thought of. We got to bring trade schools back. Now, many of the unions have within their union shops, they have trade schools where they're training young people. And it's fantastic. I was just up in Las Vegas where the Carpenters Union, their facility is incredible up there. And they're training people. The pipe fitters are training people. So we have to work with the unions to do more of that. But to your point, we got to get trade schools back open again.
Yes.
And because it is a life skill and it never goes away, and financially you're taken care of for life. So I agree with that. I think there's way too much emphasis on, and I'm a big believer in going to college, but it's not right for everybody. And people should have a trade, and they're well taken care of. So I agree with you.
I was out in Vegas. I was talking to some carpenters. They built a whorehouse in 4 days over there. 4 days. 4 days.
That was a different. I wasn't on that trip.
No, you
I
were.
just want to.
Oh,
be,
yeah.
I just want to be clear what trip I was on in Vegas.
4
I'm not
days.
traveling with you to Vegas. I know that.
We may take your boat to Vegas when I'm in charge.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, the trades and getting kids back into trades and this idea.
Did you actually ask somebody how quickly they built a whorehouse in Vegas?
I kicked some tires and yeah. No, come on, Rick, come on. You know I'm a God-fearing man. I was just making a joke. All right. Now, I think Alicia Krause is out there with a microphone, and we can do a little Q&A. But I don't want to cut you off, Rick. If there's something you'd like to kind of, finish with, other than your whorehouse soliloquy.
How long would it take to build that same building in L.A.?
Oh, my God. Cranston was going to work on the whorehouse, but he went out in New Mexico instead. Yeah, all right. So
I'm good. I'm ready for questions.
Ready for questions.
Yeah.
So, Alicia, you got a microphone out there. You're poised. There's people in the audience who have questions.
Some excited people in the audience who have some questions. If you guys don't mind, for the benefit of the listening and viewing audience and for the gentleman up front, if you can give your first name and what part of Los Angeles you live in. Okay, ma'am.
My name's Shelly, and I live in Lakewood. My question is, I would like to retire in the next few years. My friends who have retired have left Southern California. So how do you stay and retire?
It's a really good question. It's not only
elect Rick Caruso, governor of California.
Yeah, there you go.
Stay.
Well, the governor crowd got a lot smaller all of a sudden. Listen, it's a problem statewide. And here's what I think we really have to focus on. There's two sides to this. And I think about it a lot. When I started my business almost 40 years ago, in LA, I always had the feeling that there was abundant opportunity. And that if I worked really hard, between one rung and the next rung, you could literally climb up the ladder. That was the feeling I think so many of us had, not only in Los Angeles, but California. It was the state where anything could happen if you worked hard. When you work hard and you're into your career, you should also have the ability to retire and feel well taken care of and not worry about it. But the cost of living in California has gotten so out of control because we just haven't managed it right. And that's where we need to say, we're going to start peeling stuff back so it's not costing as much. Why does gas in California cost 2 to 3 times gas in anywhere else in this country? Because it's embedded with so many fees and taxes. Start peeling it back. You know that 20 cents out of every dollar you pay for gas goes to that stupid rail line. It's crazy.
Really?
Yes, it does. Every day.
I'm going to tell the kids. That's the first thing I tell the kids.
Yeah. Knock 20 cents out of it. But
wow.
So what I would focus on in the state is lowering the cost of living. And you're going to lower the cost of living by reducing bureaucracy, building more housing so more people can afford a house. We have a low inventory of housing in the city of Los Angeles. The lowest housing start in 10 years is now under Karen Bass. State of California, we're 1 million homes short, at least 1 million homes short.
Well,
that can all be corrected. And you should be able to stay in California.
We were talking off the air about a luxury project you're building, and I was asking you about what it costs a unit for you to do, and Rick's stuff is real high-end stuff, and the price you were talking about a unit for the super high-end luxury condo is the price the state and the city is quoting for homeless housing.
That's right.
Per
no,
unit,
it's true.
With and almost no Carrera marble.
Yeah. It's true.
But no gym on the roof or none of the amenities. It's costing them, I think it was like $900,000 a unit. These are small units for homeless. So I don't think people fully understand the cost of regulation and how that affects everything.
40% of the cost of housing in California is regulation. 40%. But the other thing that we're building that I'm really proud of is low-income workforce housing in 2 hours. Because I don't think people should have to work 2 hours to get to work and 2 hours to get home. And I think, and we're not asking for any tax credits, no subsidies from any government agency, and we're doing it. And I think every company should be investing in their employees by doing workforce housing that they can afford to live in and be close to home. And I'm really proud of our company for doing that.
All right. Can Shelley live there, or is that going to be... She needs to work for you. All right. Alicia, do you have another question? Are you up there? There we go.
Hi, I'm Ellen from Sherman Oaks. I'm really terrified with the Olympics coming. The whole world's coming to L.A.
Oh, those javelin guys scare the crap out of me, man. I run serpentine to the mailbox. I know what you're talking about.
I'm just wondering what should be done.
We got to be ready for it. We don't have a choice but to be ready for it. And I think it's just it's a tragedy, right? That we're even, in the 84 Olympics, for any of you that's old enough to remember the 84 Olympics, did any of us ever sit around saying, are we going to be ready for it? No, you just knew the city was going to be ready for it, right? We had great people that were out there doing it. What is going on with our leadership in this city that we believe we're not going to be ready for it? And you know why we believe that? Because we see it. The city looks dirty. Nothing's happening. There's no excitement around it. We don't hear about the planning that's going on because there isn't any. And so many of the Olympic Games are literally outside the city of LA now, which I think is really sad. I think it's really sad. I'll go on the record and I'll probably piss off a friend of mine. I think the opening ceremony should be in the LA Coliseum where it started in 1932. And I don't know, it just bothers me that the opening of the LA Olympics is in Inglewood. Inglewood isn't LA. LA's LA. And I think we've got to get back to focusing on, our core principles and our goals and just make things happen. So I'm worried about it too. I'm not involved with the Olympics. I know Casey Wasserman very well. I know he's working his tail off to try to get it done. But I think he's fighting a mighty battle with the city that isn't moving the way it should be moving to get it done.
Not a good.
I think it can still be fixed, though. I think there's time to fix it.
How much time do we have?
3 years.
We have 3 years.
Yeah. Not that long. We got the World Cup coming.
It's screw soccer. Don't clap. Come on. We got real football. It's a bad sign, when you're San Francisco and the Chinese are coming, or it's I think when we had the Super Bowl and we had to clean it up between LAX and SoFi and stuff, or it's your house and you have company coming. It's a bad sign we have to run around and clean up real fast. It means you're not running your home efficiently. When you're grabbing everything and throwing it in a closet and smashing the door shut, it means your house is crappy. And us in LA, we do this thing all the time. We're like, oh, the boss is coming to dinner. Clean up, get the homeless guys scooped up. If you're running around scooping up homeless people and moving piles of burning garbage, it probably means the city is not running how it should be running.
I agree. It's a great analogy. I completely agree.
Well, that's kind of my thing.
I still think
great
it's
analogies,
fixable. I still think it's fixable. Don't lose hope yet.
All right. Let's see. What else out there? Alicia with the microphone and another question.
Thank you, Mike from Boyle Heights. And first of all, Mr. Crusoe, thank you for all you've done for Los Angeles so far. I do hope that you run for mayor. We need you. My question tonight is, and it may be tough to answer, is all the mayors that we've had, all the city council people, the last 40 years, what happened to LA? Why have we become what we've become? What have all those politicians done, and what can be done to fix it?
Yeah, well, I think, I worked for 3 mayors, so I have a really good perspective on this. And Tom Bradley was a remarkable mayor. He really was remarkable. I learned a lot from him. And he knew how to just get things done. And Arthur will say this. He turned to me, I was 26, 27 years old. Yeah, 25, okay. Art remembers this better than I do. And he said, go solve the Inyo water lawsuit that had been going on for decades between Inyo County and the city of Los Angeles. Just go solve it. And he just empowered people to go get stuff done. And he was really competent, and he didn't let you off the hook. Dick Reardon was a great mayor. And same thing, did great things. And I tell you who I think is the biggest unsung hero as a mayor of the city of Los Angeles is Jim Hahn. Because Jim Hahn asked me to be the president of the police commission. We were under construction in this project. And he called me up, and he just became mayor, and he said, would you be the president of the police commission? And I said, no, I will not. Jim, I like you a lot. I've known Jim forever. I said, I'm not going to do it. I said, it's going to be a terrible job. Wouldn't give up, called me again. Third time, I remember literally, Ara, I was parked on Brand Boulevard, about to walk on the construction site. I think it was actually before we even started construction. It was going to a hearing. And he said, one more time, you've got to take the job. Here was the job. You got a very, very popular chief of police that looks like he came out of Central Casting. And actually a nice guy, Bernie Parks. A black man, very popular in Los Angeles, had terrible policies that were driving crime up and causing officers to quit. We had an empty academy. We had spiking crime. We had a department after the Rodney King beatings that was under a federal consent decree. The federal courts were overseeing LAPD. And I knew it was going to be a tough job. I took the job, and I'm so grateful I did take the job. And I remember calling Jim Hahn, and I said, I'm going to recommend we do not renew him and we're going to hire this guy named Bill Bratton. And on the other side of the phone was silence. Why? Because we're going to basically fire a very popular black man, and we're going to hire a white guy that's not even from L.A. and has this sort of funny accent.
Is he a Boston guy?
He's a Boston guy.
Right.
And what happened? Jim said, just do what's right. And we did it. We got crime down to levels not seen since 1950. Jim lost his second term. He had the backbone and the courage and the strength to do what was right for the residents of the city of Los Angeles at his own political cost. We've lost that. And we need to start electing people that frankly don't care if they get reelected. Just do the right thing.
Well,
But everybody's got to go do that and stop electing people for ideology. And elect people because they're competent. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Well,
what do you think?
Well, this sort of first whatever it is, no, it's not a good plan. If the job's important, so when you're doing sort of ceremonial stuff where you go the first female, the first black, or the first black lesbian female, or whatever it is we're talking about. That's fine if you're the ceremonial mayor of Hollywood and you just preside over the Walk of Fame ceremony. But if it's a nuts and bolts job, if you're an airline pilot or you're running the city of Los Angeles, then we need the best, which can be a black female lesbian or anything. But we need the best, and we shouldn't be factoring in all these other factors that do not have to do with job performance. But if you think back, or I'm thinking back on it, we had Antonio Villaraigosa, I think 2 terms, right?
Yeah.
So we got 8 years of that. Then
you had Eric Garcetti.
We had Garcetti, who's no good, and now we have Karen Bass. So, so here's what I'm saying. Okay, but you're asking what's going on in this city. Well, what if I said, what's going on with this franchise? Like, what is going on with, you pick a team. You go, okay, what's going on with the Cleveland Browns? Well, what if they had 16 years of horrible coaches? What if it was just one horrible head coach? This guy did 8 years. He sucked. He didn't know anything about football. He was ineffective. So then they put in another one. Same thing, another one. I mean, we're getting into 16 years of horrible, incompetent idiots running this city. And I say we need a competent idiot. That's
I love your endorsement.
Yes. No, I mean, why wouldn't we be run into the ground? We've had idiots. We've had a succession of idiots without a break for well over a decade. So we're going to have to do something, or we're just going to keep going in this trajectory. But it's the same way a company, if you ran Ford, if Ford just hired a succession of idiots to run their company, or a professional franchise, or any entity.
That's right.
You bring Starbucks, whoever, whatever, if it was just one idiot after the next, then of course it'd be run into the ground. Sorry, Alicia. I became emotional.
It's okay. My name is Jody. I'm a single mother who lives in the Palisades. And when I say I live in the Palisades, I currently live in the Palisades.
Good.
And I have an enormous amount of survivor's guilt, as opposed to my 2 people here who don't currently live in the Palisades. I have to ask, we need a census, because there is a misnomer out there that there is no one living there. And the truth is, if you look around, a lot of the hazards are still very much there, to the point where I had to actually LinkedIn and write to the head of LADWP to ask if the reservoir was filled, while my daughter was living with me there, and we're struggling to get information. We have a school that we fought to have opened, which is opened with children in it, in a public school.
Is
We have
that
2
Marquez?
schools, Marquez and Calvary, are open. And
Right.
it's a ghost town in the sense of any given day you walk through. I mean, we have the restaurants, we have things. We have people there who are fighting to keep it alive.
Yeah.
so that these people can come back. And so we need more people to know that there are people living there. We need the city to know and the workers to know that the brush still needs to be cleared, that the reservoir needs to be filled, and that fix the streets. I mean, the amount of flat tires just driving through on a regular basis is horrible. So if we can in any way push for a census to show that there are people living there, we can hopefully.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, listen, I agree with you 1,000%. I'm up there all the time, obviously. And I'm sorry you two lost your homes. The problem you've got, and again, this, I'm not trying to beat up anybody. There is just this general attitude that they don't care. They just don't care. And they live by these stupid rules. I was walking with my team up there the other day. I get a lot of texts from people, and I love it. I got a great idea, right? And then goes into the idea. One of my favorite great ideas was this one lady, Johnson Tree Company, that lives in the Palisades, said, I will donate flowers. Let's plant flowers along Sunset. It was like 7 in the morning, and I'm a crybaby anyway, and I started crying. My wife goes, what are you crying about? I said, this is the greatest idea. Last Sunday, we were all up there, hundreds of us, planting flowers along Sunset to give hope, right? It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was fantastic. And so my point is, Palisades is going to come back in spite of the city, not because of the city. And at Steadfast LA, and Nick Geller is here, who runs Steadfast for us. They're doing incredible work. We have a full-time team. I don't see anybody standing alongside of us. What I do see is the residents. And I think what we've all got to say to ourselves, we're going to make this happen no matter what. And my rule is we will walk with the politicians, we'll walk around the politicians, or we'll walk through the politicians, but we're coming back. Period, end of story. And not just to beat up the city of LA, the county's not doing any better. I was in Altadena this afternoon, and Altadena is worse. I don't see almost anything coming out of the ground. And we're spending a lot of time in Altadena with our grant program for businesses and whatnot, and Altadena is going to have to do the same thing. I had one of the best days of my life, along with Nick and some other people at Steadfast. We gave 5 family homes today. Unbelievable. The dearest, sweetest people in the world. Salt of the earth. One gentleman, 85 years old, lived in this home for 40 years. Nobody's coming to rescue him. But 5 families, and we're going to keep that program up. We're going to try to get them back in these homes before the holidays. But why isn't the county doing that? Why isn't the city doing that? Why isn't the state doing that? Why isn't the federal government supporting these regions that are wiped out? We have 0 federal aid. And I got to tell you, this really is a moment in this region where I hope people band together and say, we deserve better. I don't care if it's me or not. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about at every level, we deserve better because those elected officials get paid to fight for us, not to sit on their ass and do nothing. And that's what we have at the state and the local level.
I have seen Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass give, 100 interviews and pressers screaming about ICE, talking about fighting Trump. I've not heard one word out of their mouth about rebuilding anything. I do not hear anything about expediting permits or any federal help or Altadena, Palisades, Malibu. No rebuilding, no fire, no infrastructure. There's no talk. It is just talk about fighting ICE and fighting Trump since the fires. I mean, literally, I keep track. I follow along. I've not heard the governor or the mayor say one word, or if they've said one word, it's one word for every 5,000 words they say about fighting Trump and fighting
listen,
ICE.
I think you can do a lot of things at once. I am not a supporter of what ICE did in the city of LA. I am not a supporter of that. I think it was overly done. It was harsh. It's wrong. And I think we've got to have a path of amnesty for people that have been here, working hard, doing the right thing, raising their families, paying their taxes, all that kind of stuff. Reagan did it. We need to do it again. So I agree with fighting the way ICE is conducting themselves. But I also think if you're going to criticize ICE, like Bass does, it's just empty rhetoric. There's nothing behind it. Because she wants her reelection to be a referendum on Trump, not her record, because her record is so bad. Right. That's what that rhetoric is about. But if you really care about the people that you say you want to defend, go and demand a path to citizenship. Go to Washington and make that happen. Our governor should be doing it. Our mayor should be doing it. We need the workers in Los Angeles now more than ever. And it's just patently unfair to me if somebody has been here for years and years and years doing all the right things, doesn't have a criminal record. If somebody has a criminal record, round them up, send them out. You're gone. Close the borders, absolutely. But if somebody's working hard, doing the right thing, give them the ability to be a citizen of this country. I think why not? That's the right thing to do. But I want to just say to the lady that was talking about, people don't know you live there, I can tell you something. We at Steadfast do, and we are happy to talk to you, and it's a hell of a good question whether or not that reservoir is full. It's supposed to be full, but we live in Brentwood Park. None of the brush has been cleared. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Same brush that the Palisades had that became rocket fuel. So I understand your frustration completely.
All right, do we have one more, Alicia?
Final question.
Hi, Mr. Caruso. My
Hi.
name is Paula Ramirez, and also grew up in Boyle Heights off of First and Boyle in a duplex as a child.
Fantastic.
And I was very happy to volunteer for your campaign last time. I was even on the double-decker bus with you.
Wow, that was fun.
Yes. And I wanted to say thank you for staying engaged. Thank you for being a voice. Thank you for being a leader when we have virtually no leadership in the city. I still live in LA, born and raised there, live in Highland Park. And I have a question. We are all wondering if you're going to bless us with an announcement tonight. We don't even care at what level. Governor, state, city, we need you. We need you.
I really appreciate that. I'm really honored by it. And I feel very blessed and very grateful for the support I'm getting, not only around the city, but around the state. It's just, I'm really the luckiest guy in the world, but it wears on me. I had a discussion with one of my dearest buddies this weekend about it because I want to do what's right. I want to do something that's good. I'm at this stage of my life that, I want to really give back in a meaningful way. And so I'm really struggling with what is the best path to do that. But I'm at a point very soon I will make a decision because I'm at, we're just at that point that I have to do it. But it's tough. It's a really tough decision because I want to come in and do good and do the right thing, get it done, and go back to private sector. I'm not looking for a career. And so, I don't know, within a few weeks or so, something like that, I'll probably have a decision made. And it's a big topic of discussion in the house with my kids and my wife, who are incredibly supportive with anything that I decide to do. So I'll see. I don't know, Adam. Adam said he'd move to Sacramento with me if I go for governor.
Well, if I can be traffic czar, I will do that. I mean, we got to take the boat out there. I'm not driving. If that's what you're saying. I'm not taking that grapevine. All right. Will you announce it on my podcast, or will you give me an exclusive when the time comes for you to make the decision?
Why not?
All right. Well, then I only have one more question, which is, do you validate parking?
No.
All right, well, then
listen, I'm a capitalist. I do want to say one thing. I did, because today was an epic day today.
Yeah.
Right? And
the Dodgers.
I got to tell you, here's what I thought. What I thought was so great about today, it was a day that LA needed to be happy.
Yeah.
It was such a tough year for.
Thin Lizzy, and he wants to fucking rock
Right.
like any 19-year-old would want
Yeah.
to do who played the guitar in 1974, you know. But all of a sudden, the Partridge Family comes along.
Yes.
So now he's got to sing the wholesome, family-friendly Partridge Family song.
I think I love you.
That's someone else's writing, and he's doing. Now he's singing it because he can sing and he plays. He's the only
And he's
guy.
good looking.
And he's good looking. And he's the only guy in the Partridge Family that is singing and playing.
Yes.
So he's singing and playing, and the songs are going to #1, and he becomes the Tiger Beat idol.
Yes.
And now all the girls and all the bubblegum
Yes.
Tiger Beat books and all the posters and
Yes.
everything. Now he's trapped because he wants to go and rock, and he also knows that the guys he's looking up to look
Yes.
down at him as playing this bubblegum music as a sellout, right? So he goes, but he's got to go. He's going to go tour now because he's selling out stadiums because the show is so massive. And he goes to play like a show in Europe, and one of the girls gets crushed in the stampede to get to the stage. Some 13-year-old girl gets crushed trying to get to the front of the stage, and he never gets over it. And then he starts drinking, and he never stops drinking, and he can't stop drinking. And then at some point, he gets like dementia from drinking. He's like forgetting the words to his songs, and they're wanting him to come back and sing all the Partridge Family songs. But he's 65 now. It's a tale of a guy who had everything and still had a very sad life in many ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Sean Cassidy was his half brother, right?
Yes.
Half brother. Okay.
Half brother.
Okay.
And his stepmom played his mom,
Shirley Jones,
in the Partridge Family.
That was Shirley Jones.
That's Phoebe Figure Lily. Godfrey can't stand it when he misses the reference. He can't stand it. It's going to haunt him. It's going to haunt him for the rest of his life.
Me with the professor and the daddy.
Nanny, the professor's going to haunt
And
him.
I thought, ooh, my three sons. Remember the sign comes out?
Guys, I got some news. Oh, sorry. You know the Family Affair theme song?
Oh my goodness.
It's a family.
No, but that is the
Oh, you're talking about the one with the redheaded old man. No,
but the family,
it's with
Uncle
the little
Bill.
kid, Uncle Bill.
Bill.
Yes, with the blonde kid.
But the Sly and the Family Stone Family Affair?
The Family Affair was like, it's the family affair.
It's that's the greatest song ever. They didn't write any lyrics down.
Oh,
yeah. It's so funny because at a certain point he goes, "Little Mama and Daddy over there been married for 26 years, still checking each other out." Oh yeah. He just runs out of steam. He's like,
and the music's so good.
Yeah, but write some words down next time.
Sitting down, looking at it. Oh, it's a family. And they go, get back to the look. Yeah, it's a family affair.
Yeah, well, that song in War, Why Can't We Be Friends? The truth is, they didn't write lyrics down. They're like, why can't we be friends? Goes, you think you're working for the CIA? You should be working for the Mafia. It's like, hey, dude, you gotta write. Everyone needs to write down shit.
So
you can't
horrible.
just fucking vamp. You're not.
Well, James Brown was known for that too.
Yep.
The big payback. Revenge. Nathan, get back. Payback. I'm mad. Payback.
Find Family Affair, Sly and the Family Stone. It's middle end. It's in the second part where he talks about mom and dad been married for.
That music is sick.
Yeah, the groove is there. They just didn't write shit down.
Freestyling.
If you go to. Oh, maybe it's the middle.
He even went oop a doop doop doop.
Just a little scatting, like relaxation.
Here it is.
Just still checking each other out.
Yeah, answer's like when you get really drunk and your roommate fucking comes in your room. Like, what do you want? I need to know where the air fryer is. Oh, yeah. Newlyweds, 1 year fun, still checking each other.
And they go right to the goal. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Family affair.
All right. Let's do some news mayhem.
We got some news. We got some news. The NVIDIA employees can work 7 days a week until 2 a.m., but few leave because of the AI chip's giant lavish pay. So essentially what's happened here is that the NVIDIA people can attend up to 10 meetings a day, each of them involving 30 or more people.
They make chips, these guys,
yes.
I think.
And the NVIDIA stock has surged.
I saw that.
3,776%, meaning employees who have been working at the company for the past 5 years are very likely to be millionaires.
Then they surpass what? Microsoft? They surpass somebody.
Yeah. But look, they're just, it's news now when someone works real hard and spends a long time in their office. And, what do you fucking think Henry Ford did, Like, that's all people did is worked hard and spent a lot of time in their office. Like, it isn't news.
Yeah.
We make it news now. We're like, oh, the environment. The environment is what? I mean, Jesus Christ. I was on a construction site for 12 years. The environment was not good. It was never any environment. We didn't even have an environment. There's no environment. They would have wanted to know what the fuck I was talking about if I said I didn't like the environment. On this construction site.
Yeah, the market capitalization exceeded $1 trillion.
Wow.
And the rate of worker attrition fell to just 2.7%.
When you pay people, they tend not to want to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it works.
NVIDIA employee parking lot is full of high-end cars such as Porsches, Corvettes, Lamborghinis.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And he's a real estate agent in Palo Alto, told the Bloomberg News that he worked with several NVIDIA employees, some who make down payments between 40 to 60% on homes worth millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So everybody's balling at NVIDIA. I used to date a chick from there.
No.
I should have hung on.
Really?
Her.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
Really?
Japanese, yeah.
Oh,
Japanese.
now it's coming into focus.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd she do there?
Yeah, she was one of these chip experts.
Oh,
or something about that. I know.
But you guys, maybe you get along?
Yeah.
She was hot?
She's hot. I was just on the road, baby, rolling stone.
Okay.
Kept on
Doom,
moving.
doom,
Yeah.
doom. Chuck, 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 chuck. Papa was a rolling stone.
That song is great.
That's the lyrics are amazing.
The
Wherever
best lyrics.
he laid his hat was his
No,
home.
the next line is the greatest line in music.
He died, all he left us was alone. That's the
greatest line in music.
But that's Motown.
All he left us was alone.
Gamble and Huff, Motown guys.
Yeah.
Must have been a Jew who wrote that. Had to be a Jew.
Oy vey would have been at the end.
Yeah.
All he left us was alone. It's the greatest line ever.
It's a short story, but
And
powerful.
Mama. It was the day of September.
A day I'll always remember. Yes, I will.
That was the day that my daddy died. Damn.
Oh, and then when he said, Mama just hung her head. And said. Yeah, that's just the greatest line.
Oh, man.
You know what's a fucking kick-ass song, too,
What?
speaking of that?
Yeah.
And it's been more than 50 years. In the Ghetto.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That is a solid song.
That's a good one.
Mac Davis wrote that song.
There used to be the Mac Davis show.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this white man with kind of an afro?
Yeah, had a kind of a Jew
Before
fro, had a
Bob
natural.
Ross, there was Mac. He's probably Mac Davis died.
He had a natural. He starred in a movie.
Oh, what movie was that? North Dallas 40? No.
That's right.
Yeah!
Oh, man.
Yeah, Godfrey's
He's good
back.
at this game.
Yeah!
Godfrey's back,
baby.
And you know what? That looks like his headshot from when he tried to guest star in a Love Boat. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Love.
Exciting and new. Hop aboard. We're expecting you and love. Da-da-da. Life's sweetest reward. Let it float. It floats back to you. The love boat. Soon we'll be making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure. Your mind's on a new romance. And love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love. Welcome aboard. It's love. Shit. What? Shit. Give me some of that, baby.
Try that shit with Mike Epps. You don't know one fucking word of unicycle right now.
The singer was Jack Jones.
Yeah.
That is the most coolest, whitest voice other than Frank Sinatra. God love.
Yeah.
Whoa!
All right.
I'm going to use that for opening line for chicks now. Exciting and new. Hop aboard.
That's right.
LeBron James.
Yes.
Bronny can't call me dad on the court. Got to call me 2-3 or Bron. One of the biggest questions leading up to the next NBA season has been answered. Will Bronny James call LeBron dad when they share the court? No. Yeah, and from the king himself, the answer is hell no.
Right.
Now that his oldest son is a teammate on the Lakers, the four-time champion ended speculation on how the work relationship will play out, especially when it comes to how the rookie will address him. No, he can't call me dad. 39-year-old LeBron James said on an upcoming episode of The Shop, Uninterrupted? I don't know. I guess that's the show.
That's his show.
Yeah, okay. Cannot call me dad in the workplace. Once we leave out of the private facility and the gates close, I can be dad again.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't say, Dad, why
I
don't
know.
you pass me the ball,
Yeah, Dad, pass me the rock.
Little bitch.
Other players should yell dad.
Yeah, Dad.
Just when his back is turned, just to fuck with him, right? Because it'll start getting in his head.
Yeah.
How much playing time do you think Bronny's going to get?
I think they're going to wait. They might do it when they got a nice lead.
He's not really.
If they play like a good lead and try him out when they playing like some buster ass team, preseason maybe give him some runs in the preseason.
The Lakers wouldn't have drafted Bronny if LeBron wasn't there.
Hell
but
no.
would he be drafted in the league at all?
I don't know. 'Cause they said he was okay. His the scouting games were pretty good. He did decent.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got to be at a certain level, but is he at a high enough level?
I don't know, man. Maybe what if he gets better? We don't know. We have to see it. We got to see it.
Yeah.
And plus, in this game, I don't know. I think the NBA is a little soft now. I don't think they're as physical anymore as they used to be. Kevin Garnett just said that on the thing. He goes, let me tell you something, man. For real, a lot of you ball players now wouldn't have survived in the 90s and 2000s. I swear to God, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have handled all that bodying. He's like, I love Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Kevin was a beast. He said, I'm telling you, you guys wouldn't survive that. So Bronny, I don't know. You know, I don't. LeBron James would have survived in the 90s because he's the way he's built and all this other stuff. But I don't know, man. Because when I watched the Olympics, by the way, and Serbia gave the U.S. the business. They were physical. You know, Jokic is from there.
Yeah.
Jokic is from there. So they gave him, it was physicality. And surprisingly, they stepped it up. And I was like, I want to see that kind of basketball again, where defense is being played. They're bumping and, you know, but I don't know if Bronny, I don't know. We got to see, you know. You never know. What if he...
But he's on there.
Well, is LeBron, if Bronny's not getting minutes, is LeBron going to complain a little bit?
I think he shouldn't. I go, you got to earn that.
Yeah.
I don't think he should. That would be whack because I would think sports would be the last area of where you got to be able to play. It's like comedy, they give anybody a special now. There's a lot of great comedians and you watch a lot of trash and people will use the excuse, well, comedy's subjective. What's fun? Well, there's funny and there ain't funny. Okay, and that you don't have to like anybody's style, but I understand when certain comics are funny and they're they have their stage time and their presence.
Who was the last? I don't know if it's the last. Who's the most famous professional father-son sports in the league at the same time?
Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Sr.
Yeah. Did they both?
Yeah, they played on the same team at the same time, and they both hit home runs in the same game and base hits in the same game. And Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. caught the ball over like robbed home runs almost the same way when he played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But they
this is the first time for NBA.
This is the first time. Did Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonds play at the same time?
No, I think I think Bobby was leaving.
Yeah, Bobby was leaving, but I wonder how far did Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonds miss each other?
Paul and Rick Russell. No, that's fathers. That's brothers. Sorry.
All right.
They were pitchers. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. We'll
Ty Cobb and Texas Randy Tex. No, just kidding.
Randy Tex Cobb.
Randy Tex Cobb.
Randy Tex Cobb.
And Tyrus Raymond Cobb.
Well, here, let's switch it up here.
Okay,
a lonely dolphin may be behind a series of attacks on swimmers in Japan. Yes, guys. Yeah, a single bottlenose dolphin is believed to be behind a series of attacks on swimmers at a Japanese seaside town, possibly out of loneliness. Japanese broadcaster NHK reported on August 20th that a man in his 50s has been bitten on both hands that morning by a dolphin who approached him and tried to shoo it away at a beach in Soronga, a city in Fukai Province.
It was Frippa. He's attacking a Frippa.
Get this. He was the 18th dolphin victim since July 21st and the second one in as many days. Apparently what's going on
it's Godzilla.
Is this dolphin has been shunned from his pod and is now just roaming up and down the coast, biting random people.
Bullying
in a
people.
Playful manner.
That's Dittman
not a vicious
in another life. That's Dittman.
God damn it, Dittman.
What year did Bobby Bonds leave?
The 80s. Fixated.
You can tell
Bobby
me.
Bonds last season 81, Barry Bonds first season 86.
5 year.
5 year.
Yeah.
I had a Bobby Bonds baseball bat. I sure did. He played Padres, right? Was he Padres?
I don't remember.
Bobby Bonds Giants.
Giants. Okay. Padres, I think, was Barry Bonds first. Was the Padres.
Pittsburgh for Barry Bonds first, then
that's right.
Then San Francisco.
Okay, okay.
You want a palate cleanser by singing the Flipper song?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't remember the Flipper song.
Flipper, faster than lightning.
No one you see
Yeah.
smarter than he.
Yes.
You know, Flipper.
What are you saying, Flipper?
Yeah, Lassie would tell you stuff. Flipper would tell you stuff.
Yeah.
Gentle Ben would tell you.
Gentle
What's
Ben.
going on, boy? What? There's someone in the well? Oh, okay, I'll follow you.
Okay.
My dog doesn't do shit. He lays around thinking about eating. He's not gonna help me. If someone gets trapped in a well, they better fucking get out on their own. There's no way to fill the
Trapped in a well, Essie? Good boy.
Yeah, that Flipper would. Oh God, I used to watch those shows and go, "Oh, I'm trapped in this." Box in North Hollywood with a mom that doesn't make sandwiches, and look at these guys out on the Everglades with their own dolphin.
All kinds.
My God.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got more news? Oh,
Yeah, one more. I got one. An epic mongoose and cobra fight on the airport tarmac delays flight. And I hope to God we have footage of this, some type of footage.
What?
Because a cobra, and we do, a cobra and a mongoose treat an airplane runway
Is this
like
a Burbank
boxing
or
ring.
Van Nuys?
This is in India,
Oh.
unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
No, here we go.
Plane delayed by. This is
Here we
dope.
go.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Wow.
Yes. I mean,
So
this is-
somebody's pets got out of the plane.
No. This is like pretty normal in India, I believe. It just so happened to be at an airport.
Now, you know what I'm about to say.
Ricky Tikki
Ricky
Tavi.
Tikki Tavi.
I know everything you know.
Tell him that.
I know everything you know,
Ricky
Godfrey.
Tikki
I read
Tavi,
this book.
baby.
Yeah. I think that's required reading in America, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Tikki Tavi.
Yeah, you have
Charlotte's
to read
Web,
that.
Ricky
There's a
Tikki's-
whole gang
Oh,
of them now.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It's a 3-on-1. The news report didn't say that.
wow.
Yeah, here's the... Man, if I lived in a place with cobras
And
And these like crazy raccoons?
Yes, I would travel with one. I mean, not the
mongoose?
cobra. I would travel with a mongoose.
Yeah.
I would make friends with a mongoose,
that was what-
and I would just travel with it. I wouldn't go anywhere
A
without the
mongoose.
mongoose. I wouldn't. You want to go on a hike? Not without Ricky Ticky. I'm taking Ricky Ticky everywhere I go because if there's a place where there's cobras everywhere,
think about it.
I need my mongoose.
Well,
nature is so amazing that they have somebody to stop a cobra.
You'd be right. Yeah,
Like you
75
think King Cobra, there's a mongoose going. I love that. Love me a cobra.
They win
boy.
80% of the time, is what it says here in the news.
Pardon the cultural reference, but the king of the cobras was
King of the Cobras, not the Warriors.
I think it was Billy D.
What?
Oh, no, that was Colt 45.
That was Colt 45.
Anybody want a Colt 45? I'm Billy D. Williams, and I'm going to tell you, this is one of the best beers I've ever
One of
drank.
the best commercials ever.
Colt
Malt
45.
liquor. Malt liquor.
Hey,
you know what's
get your
a
lady
weird
a
thing in the
Colt
black
45.
community? Cigarettes were menthol, which is like cigarettes
Yeah.
that taste like a candy cane.
Yeah.
But malt liquor tastes like shit compared to an IPA.
Oh, okay. How about this one? You're gonna like this one. Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull.
The Bull.
Remember the Bull would chase black
Yeah.
people? That was one of my first jokes as a comic. Going, why is it I watch Budweiser and white dudes are chilling, they're having a nice time at the beach, hanging out. But black people get a beer, a bull chases us out and tries to kill us.
That's right.
some bullshit. Schlitz Malt. Wait, if we could, I don't know.
Wait, we
Schlitz
got
Malt-
Billy D commercial. Billy D.
Billy D.
was so invested in drinking Colt 45 that he modified his work desk to be a special drinking desk. So when he hit a button, a ice tray of beer would pop out. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not. That's Lando Calrissian.
We'll see Billy D.
Billy
Sorry.
D. Get my
Billy
Colt.
D. Williams on body language.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For
I remember
instance,
this.
that means she has an interest in the finer things in life. That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man. And now she's pouring a Colt 45.
Chicks love malt liquor.
We all know what that
They love malt liquor.
Mind if I join you?
Mickey's Big
She must
Mouth,
have read my
Colt
mind.
45, King Cobra,
Something
they
like
drink
that.
it all.
Wow, that was some
Schlitz.
smooth
It
shit,
works
though.
every time.
That's a horrible beer.
I love the fact that it's high octane beer, and the slug line is it works every time. What do you mean works?
Look at that lady over there.
That's right.
You can tell by
girl.
her position that she wants the right man.
That's right.
Hey, you need some company? You would think right in my mind.
You're 9 malt liquors away from success, my brother.
I think you know what? I would sell out my people if they
That's
gave me
right.
the right contract.
Hot chick at a party.
that
I've
was
never
smooth.
seen a chick drink one sip of a malt liquor. Have you ever been on a date and you're ordering and you're like, I'll have a dirty martini, and the chick goes, you got malt liquor?
He's like,
I've never seen a woman at any age ever request a malt liquor.
I'll take a malt shake.
A malted,
Milkshake, I like-
malted
but
milk.
let me tell you, boy,
Billy D.
it's looking really nice in here. A lot of hot women, and let me tell you what's going to get their coochies wet. A little bit of malt liquor. Drop your
Do we
little
have
dirty
Billy?
martini.
There's a Billy D one.
Which one?
There's one where he's looking for Hammer. He says, "I'm looking for Hammer," but I don't. But that could have been the Hammer.
Fred Williamson?
Fred Williamson.
Fred Williamson, maybe.
But there's one where he has a drinking desk. He's upstairs and it's like speakeasy.
I know who you're talking about.
And
yeah.
speaking of Hammer used that because Mongoose I never would thought would be in a rap lyrics. When Hammer first came out, before you can't touch this, there was a song called Can You Feel It? Louder. It's like, I roll, all odds against me. This is the first time we see Hammer. It's like, who is this guy? And he's like, you're a snake, I'm a mongoose. I was like, who uses that reference?
We got the bowl ready. We got the Schlitz and the bowl ready.
These were commercials we were watching Soul Train.
Okay.
When black folks was, after American Bandstand, we was mainly white. That's Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah,
hungry.
right.
But watch Schlitz Malt Liquor. We can't even have a beer without, I'm sorry for the Eddie Murphy voice, but without a bull trying to stick us in the ass. It's bullshit.
This is Wilson Pickett. And when it comes to singing, old Pickett's going to look out for you because I want you to enjoy it.
Look at
But when it comes to drinking,
Oh my God.
I only have to look out for Wilson Pickett. Yeah. And that means I have to. For the bull, y'all. Let's smell liquor bull. Nobody makes
There's a bull trying to kill Wilson Pickett.
He's trying for the bull. Nobody makes more liquor like Slip.
Yeah, man.
He's like, ain't nobody gonna get Wilson Pickett.
First sickle cell, now this. You fucking guys have overcome a lot.
Yo, a black bull coming to kill. He was like this. I don't think so.
I got a barber chair. I got a rattan barber chair. I'm going up.
Do you know who Wilson Pickett influenced the most? Who was a huge fan of Wilson Pickett and sang like him too? Because I'm gonna wait till the midnight. That's Wilson fucking Pickett.
Right. Oh, okay.
Or Land of a Thousand Dances. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
That's Wilson Pickett. Guess who was? I mean, literally copied Wilson Pickett. White guy, of course.
A white guy.
Guess who?
Oh.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. Come on now. Come on.
White
You need some
guy
malt liquor to
ripped
get your
off-
memory
well,
back.
I mean, I would have known like the Blues Brothers love Wilson Pickett, but they didn't copy him. They couldn't sound like him.
He sang well. Women loved him.
Oh, okay.
They loved him.
Tom Jones.
Yeah!
Oh, fucking
I was there.
fucking
I was right there.
This dude. Woo!
I don't know. Mayhem was right in
What's
there
up,
too.
pussycat?
Whoa! Don Cornelius from Soul Train.
Hell yeah, from Chicago.
Of course.
Cop from Chicago.
Yeah, he big.
Came out here.
That's right. He came out here.
Didn't talk very fast.
Not at all.
Super slow.
I just want to let you know it's going to be a stone gas, honey. And we have next coming up the OJ.
Oh, it's a family affair. So he later on in life had a little bit of issue with the law.
Yes, he did.
And he got into some situation with the ladies.
Yes.
And it's weird because there's lots of different crime, you know? There's like assault and battery, and there's arson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then there's weird stuff that gets into like imprisonment,
Tom Jones.
and stuff like that. He got charged for like imprisoning women in his house.
Before R. Kelly, you think R. Kelly had shit on
it wasn't like rape and or whatever aggravated assault.
Yeah.
He got imprisonment. Like Rick what's his name? Got it.
Rick Springfield?
James. Yeah, Rick James. Rick James was charged with imprisoning.
Yeah.
False imprisonment. Yeah. That's the charge.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Rick James was a bad mother. His music was the shit. My sister went to see a Rick James concert and touched his boot and would not shut the fuck up for a week. She's like, I touched his boot. I touched his boot. We're like, whatever, man. And she touched his boot. You and I, we've been together for a long time.
I love it.
Right.
But he
bad motherfucker.
What did Don Cornelius get charged with? At a weird, took a couple of playmates, brought them home, and didn't let them leave.
He said, I'm just going to be a stone gas, honey.
That's right. He did something. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break. We'll figure out what he was accused of doing.
Soul Train.
And we'll do a little more news if we have any. Or we're done with the news,
We're
right?
done with
All
the
right,
news.
we'll be back. We don't need the news. We'll be back right after this.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Clearwater, Florida. A 21-year-old woman was arrested for domestic battery on her sister after an argument ensued over not sharing her food delivery. The woman hit her sister with ravioli. Definitely not a Jew.
All right. Don Cornelius was accused of locking up and violently sexually assaulting 2 young Playboy bunnies decades ago.
Damn.
That was his
Wow.
thing.
Don Cornelius, that guy, like, wanted. I saw the documentary, and you know who's narrating the Soul Train documentary? Terrence Howard.
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Yeah. Terrence Howard, who talks like this. See, you have to understand that 1 + 1 is 3.
The famed mathematician?
Yes.
They're doing a Soul Train doc?
No, they already did it. It's come out in a couple of years. It's great.
Where's it on? Well, I love docs.
Try Netflix or try that, because I saw it a few years ago. Like, where do your docs move to?
Oh,
he has some good docs. Have you seen his race car docs?
I haven't seen.
Are you out your mind? Willie T. Ribs, Shelby.
Yeah,
I've seen all of them.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen them all. They're dope as hell.
Oh, good.
Because I'm a
glad
doc
you enjoyed
freak.
it. I love docs too. I don't know where my docs are. They're on the internet. I don't know.
But just look up Uppity.
Uppity. And there's Paul Newman.
Paul Newman's.
There is Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari's dope.
The 24-hour war.
That's great.
Is good. And then
that movie was good too.
And then there is Shelby American. Sorry.
I've seen them all on race cars, and the first black race car driver in, what is it? Was it NASCAR?
Willie T. Ribs went to England and raced in like Formula V or whatever, like the English open wheel thing. Had a bunch of success in England, came here, wanted to drive the next step up, the Formula Atlantic, because there's these stepping stones before you get to F1.
Yeah.
Drove well in Formula Atlantic, but then couldn't get sponsorship. Then Bill Cosby got involved to provide sponsorship. Ended up driving in Trans Am, the Trans Am series, which is not Trans Am cars, just a Trans Am series. Was very dominant in that series. Wanted to go to Indy, couldn't get money from Indy.
They hated him. They're so racist.
And Don. And so Bill Cosby stepped up.
Newman did too, didn't he? Newman
had an Indy team. Later, Newman raced Trans Am with Paul Newman. Newman raced with Willie T. Ribs and Paul in Trans Am. Paul Newman raced in the Trans Am series. Willie said to Paul, like, I can't get a sponsor. I can't get, whatever. Paul said, like, I'll make a couple of phone calls, and I'm going to have a guy call you from Budweiser, and
they were like, hell
just say yes. And he was like, well, what about Colt 45 and Old English and King Cobra?
I guess you want to race a car.
He's like, they don't sponsor Trans Am. No malt liquor at all. He's like, sorry, Willie.
I was like, Colt 45 doesn't have that much money.
So he ended up getting sponsored and then got into Trans Am.
It's dope. It's
and
awesome.
Then went to Indy
documentary
at some point.
It's really good.
Oh, we have Don Cornelius interviewing Janet Jackson, which is my favorite because
awesome.
He's so slow. It's great.
Watch.
Congratulations on that fine recording, and of course you have a great album going for you.
Thank you very much. On my singing, but I'm still into acting, and I will do some in the future.
Janet, great album going for you.
I like when he does the big band.
Been doing some things musically that
I like he has
a lot of
one
folks don't
mic,
know about, such as
and she's
producing, writing.
4'7" and he's 6'7", so he holds the mic just in the middle of the. He holds the mic like he's interviewing a 5'9" guy. Puts it in the middle.
But no one never really knew about it.
Yeah, Soul Train.
No, I didn't.
And he created the Soul Train line. You know, the Soul Train line.
Oh, Soul Train. Listen,
age groups and
I know
and
fucking
shooting
Soul
and
Train. I
everything.
painted the fucking cyclorama in that place.
That would just happen. Everything came together.
It's AM. He holds the mic on her forehead while she's talking.
What's happening
Like
with
he's
your
gonna
acting career?
anoint her.
Well, right now I'm concentrating on my singing.
Janet
But
Jackson.
I'm still into acting, and I will do some in the future.
Nobody beats Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, Don Cornelius like. Did
you see when Richard Pryor was on there?
On Soul Train?
Richard Pryor was on Soul Train. He's
What
like,
was he
Don,
doing?
this is some good shit, Jack.
Was he dancing?
God damn.
What was he doing?
He got some bad bitches on this motherfucker.
Did he dance? Did he do stand up? What did he do?
No, he did some stand up on there. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, man. Did you, Don Cornelius, Richard Pryor was on there. They had one where Marvin Gaye, they're all surrounding Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. He had there was a lot of great moments in Soul Train. But Richard Pryor, you remember Tom Dreesen?
Sure, stand-up
Tom
comedian.
Dreesen and Tim Reed from WKRP.
First black-white duo.
They
comedy
did
duo.
it on Soul Train.
That fucking.
You know, Frankie Valli sang on Soul Train. He sang Grease on Soul Train.
I talked. Okay, this is making me okay.
Because it was the white soul that
Richard,
came on.
yeah, Pryor on Soul Train, but
yes, Richard Pryor.
I talked to Tom Dreesen. I had the weirdest thing with Tom Dreesen. Maybe
Chicago
you'll
guy.
know. Maybe
What?
you'll know.
Okay.
Nicest guy in the world.
Nicest
Tom
guy in the
Dreesen.
world.
Tom Dreesen, nicest guy in the world. In the Improv. At Melrose Improv, there was a poster of Tom Dreesen behind the bar,
right,
where he was butt-ass naked, but he was just showing his ass cheek.
Whoa.
And he was wearing like a Cubs hat, and he was like turning and posing or whatever.
What?
And so it was up there at the club for 25 years. And then Mike August, who books a lot of comedians, does all kind of stuff, we were talking about that poster, and we were at the club. We were there, and we're like talking to the bartender, somebody. And we're like, hey, that poster. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then we talked to people who ran the club and managed the club and had been there for 25 years, and comedians had been through there for 25 years. And they're all like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Mike and I were going crazy. Like, there is a poster right behind the bar of Tom Dreesen. I didn't know if it was, I knew it was Tom Dreesen. It was a naked dude with his ass cheek, and he's turning and like looking at it, and everyone's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I've been a bartender here for 30 years. And Mike and I were going insane, and we finally got Tom Dreesen in here. And the story was he went on Letterman. He did some joke on Letterman, made fun of him, something with a yearbook, showed his ass or something on Letterman, and then Letterman fucked with Dreesen, so Dreesen took the picture of him with the Cubs hat and sent it to Letterman, and somehow that poster ended up at the Improv. That was
he always has those stories.
That was the Dreesen story.
Tom's like, did I ever tell you about the time
I opened for Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, Frank Sinatra. Oh,
yeah,
really nice guy.
Right. Yes, he opened for Frank Sinatra. We got it, Tom. We heard the story. Right. Generous man. Gotcha. Not an abusive alcoholic. Gotcha. Good man. Drove you to the airport.
Did I tell you the story about Don Rickles?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I had dinner. You would have loved this. Last Saturday with Alan Hamill, 85-year-old Alan Hamill, married to Suzanne Summers for 60 years.
Damn.
Sat there at dinner, told the Frank Sinatra stories, told the Steve and Edie Gourmet stories, like crazy old Hollywood, between Vegas and Palm Springs and being in show business for 50 years. Everybody got every name dropped.
School.
Every person.
It's like how we all know each other, kind of, sort of. We see. That was how it was. I did a movie with Robert Wagner, and I forgot the other lady's name, but Robert Wagner, it was called Dennis the Menace Christmas. Comes on every year. I play his guardian angel.
Nice.
And I'm hanging out with Robert Wagner, they call him RJ.
Oh, yeah.
And he's telling me story. It was Sinatra, what he looked like when he was young.
Oh, he was in the Newman doc.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. That look at me.
That's you and Bob Wagner.
Bob Wagner. Oh my God.
All right.
Wow, you found out.
I'm going to give you a chance at redemption.
That's in Montreal. That's in Montreal. We shot that.
I'm going to give you a chance for redemption.
Okay, what's that?
In the world of television.
Oh, man. Here we go.
All right, I'm just going to say a few words.
Nanny McPhee. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Phoebe Figure Lily. All right, you ready?
Okay.
When they met, it was
heart
murder.
to heart.
All right.
Heart to heart.
All right, before he even said the
Heart
word
to heart.
murder.
Heart to heart. With Stephanie Thomas or Stephanie... Stephanie... it's Robert Wagner, Stephanie...
Yeah.
Whatever.
The beginning of Heart to Heart now we need.
Heart to heart.
Yeah, because the beauty of Heart to Heart is... First off, I fucking figured out the car he was driving at the beginning of Heart to Heart. She's driving either 380 or 450 Mercedes SL. He's driving a Dino Ferrari, but you can only see him through the windshield, so you can't really tell. And when they met, it was murder.
When they met,
but
it was murder.
It was great, the beginning of it, because it's all narrated from the butler, Max, Stephanie Powers, and
Stephanie Powers,
and the thing that's beautiful, it's great is he goes, "That's Mr. Hot. He's successful and a millionaire," and then he goes, "That's Mrs. Hot. She's gorgeous, and she's just combing her hair." Like, okay, she evidently isn't contributing that much. Other than they literally cut her fixing her hair in the mirror, and that's all she gets in the accolades department. They wouldn't let you do that shit today, right?
What a nice looking broad.
She's a good looking broad. Such a mean cock. She does what she's told.
And when they met,
it was murder.
It was murder.
Murder.
I thought that guy that played the butler was the guy from Car 54. Ooh, I thought, because, he's
he
older.
was in Car 54.
Fred Gwynn.
No. Well, yeah, Al Lewis was in it.
He sure fucking was.
Fucking Al was.
And then they got to the Munsters. And Fred Gwynn was an amazing animator.
Oh, I kind of remember hearing that.
He was a sick-ass illustrator. That's what he did first.
Oh, wow.
Fred Gwynn. I watch a lot. They have a lot of docs on YouTube about Hollywood. Like I did about Yvonne DiCarlo, who played the mom in the Munsters. They have... They got the Paul Lynde doc. They got little docs that are 30, 40 minutes. They're amazing. Carol Channing was half black, by the way, guys.
Really?
Yep, half black. Pops was black. She just hit it.
Wow,
she passed.
with that blonde hair.
Hello, Charlie. Well, hello, Charlie. It's so nice to hang out with you belong.
Oh my God.
Well, hello,
you black guys in your Carol Channing impersonations. It's
well,
so
hello,
fucking old.
Charlie.
Every black comedian I see come on stage is doing their Carol Channing.
It's true. I passed. Yeah, it's so amazing.
We got the heart to heart open.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah. It was murder.
Watch the music.
I used to watch these commercials and these screen and go, "This does not resemble my life."
Jonathan Hart.
My boy. I'm playing the guitar.
He's quite a guy.
Wagner.
Robert Wagner.
This is Mrs. A. She's gorgeous. What a terrific lady.
All right, but did anyone ask, like, maybe she shouldn't be holding a mirror up to her face while we're doing this?
Lionel
I take
Stanley.
care of them, which ain't easy, because their hobby is murder.
All right, this is not Jim and Chris Carolla. I can tell you that.
Before Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was them.
It was them.
And those were it was like lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, they were living a life.
There was
a lot of fantasy back then.
A lot of
escapism.
Fantasy Island.
Mm-hmm.
Tattoo.
The bling.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles. Buzz, what is his dream? Well, Tattoo, he wants to be a painter someday. He loves Picasso. But Buzz, how can he want to paint when he doesn't have brushes, Buzz? Tattoo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You talk to me. But Buzz.
I like that he yelled at all the bitches to smile when they ran to the dock in their bikinis. Smiles,
Smiles, everyone, smiles.
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban was the coldest Latin on TV.
Yeah.
And when you saw him when he was young, he was always a smooth, he was the Wrath of Khan. Remember? He had that fake chest.
Yeah.
And this is Star Trek 2. When, what's his name? When Shatner had a Jerry curl. Remember, he had a little Jerry curl, like Soul
He
Glow.
said, "I want to look like Mac Davis."
Right.
My favorite
part of stuff of Star Trek 2 in the movies when he goes, Khan!
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's on now. Ooh! I was like, that was my favorite.
You consume a lot of media, Godfrey.
I know.
And you hang on it. Well, it's a weird. All right, here's a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's not everybody. Many have seen as much as we've seen. They don't retain the theme songs and the names and the stuff. What is the retention thing? And they always say, I didn't see that. And I go, no, you saw it. You just didn't do anything. It didn't make a dent in your brain.
You did nothing to it. Like, if I'm on stage and I talk about how much I love Spider-Man, met Stan Lee 3 times. When he was at POW Entertainment, when they treated him like shit,
right?
And he went on his own. My friend worked for Yuka, if you're out there, Kobayashi. She like hooked me up and said, "Hey, are you a fan
Wait,
of?"
didn't Mayhem date her?
Yeah.
She making
I think that was the girl. That was the girl, man. But I didn't touch it, man.
All right.
And I met him, and it was like, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. So, and people go, I'm a Spider-Man. In an audience, I go, I met Stan Lee, so I beat you. First off, I didn't wait for Comic-Con. I was in his office 3 hours. Me and Stan Lee, he's showing me things. Come here, Godfrey, let me show you about Spider-Man. You know this. Yeah.
He got Me Too'd at the end, right?
He got Me Too. Oh, he did. Oh, did he?
Not Spider-Man. I'm talking about Stan Lee.
How?
No.
He said Excelsior.
I am telling you.
Stan Lee got
Joe
Me
can
Too.
look it up. Stan Lee got Me Too'd. First off, it gives us all hope. Like Rodney Dangerfield, you know, where you go, that guy had no success before his 60th birthday, you know, you go, oh, it gives us hope. Gives us hope in the Me Too department because that guy got Me Too'd at like 96 years old. Like he was
George Bush too?
Like if you set this court date for anything longer than 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be dead. But knock yourself out. I swear to God, he got Me Too'd at the very
bitch.
At the very end.
A Chicago masseuse accused him of touching her inappropriately.
No, he didn't. That's some bullshit.
When he was 93 and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, he may have done it in his teens or something, but
95.
95.
Yeah,
he got
didn't do that
Me
shit.
Too'd at 95.
Bitch, stop trying to get that money.
First off, when you're 95, you cannot inappropriately touch someone. You got your shoulders too bad, bursitis, arthritis, cataracts. How are you going to feel somebody up at 95? You could fall on them, I guess.
See, that's such bullshit.
Did he feel her up? There is no dignity anymore. It's just 95-year-old Stan Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't fight him off? Stop.
How old? But maybe she's saying this is 20 years before.
No, it was when he was in his 90s, 95. And
I met him at 89 when he was
she
89.
accused him of touching himself while he was getting a massage.
What's wrong with that? He goes, I haven't felt like this since I first made Spider-Man.
Let me shoot my web across the room.
Want to see running out of formula
out.
Yeah, look who's making a cameo.
What can you do to yourself at 95? And
So
God
she
bless
accused
if
him
he-
of touching himself in a massage, and then she didn't want to massage him anymore. After multiple refusals, she finally agreed, went to his hotel room. He was moaning and groaning again,
He's
so she
95.
decided to do shiatsu massage with her feet, and then he took his genitals and placed it on her feet.
That's awesome.
That's the thing.
First of all, you can't place your genitals on people.
How do you place it?
Somebody standing on
that's
your
a big
chest,
cock
you
like that.
can't-
Let me place my dick on your shoulder. Yeah,
Also,
place
they
it.
do that thing all the time.
You
like,
place your dick. That's a big ass.
I didn't want to do it, but eventually I went to his hotel room. It's like, okay, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
You place your dick, that's the big ass dick. If you put your dick, that's little dick. You put it on me. But when you place it, you go, oh, excuse me, where do I put this? I'm going to place this right here.
Yeah.
Lay this right there on your shoulder right there. Yeah. So,
All right, Me Too'd at 95.
No way.
I just told you. I just told you that.
When I would show and separate myself from Spider-Man fans, I sing the theme song and smoke people, and then they all shut up. Ready? Mm-hmm. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, there goes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there, here goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big hang-up. Wherever there's a hang-up, you'll find the Spider-Man.
Oh, wow, this is so weird. And let me tell you why this is so
1966.
how weird this is. Why I had a little trouble on that song.
Okay.
Speaking of big dicks, when I was in high school, I had a friend with a big dick, right? And I used to write.
And the way you said it,
I used to write parody songs about his big dick.
Jesus
which
Christ.
some say makes me gay.
No Diddy, baby.
And we called him Torpedo Man. Because he had a big dick.
Torpedo Man.
So I wrote a Spider-Man themed song to Torpedo Man. And so I had the Torpedo Man fake theme in my head.
Right.
And I haven't sung. So it's Torpedo Man does whatever torpedo can. Shoots some jizz any length. Man, that stuff's torpedo strength to him.
Wow.
And the scene at night at the scene of a rape. I was a
Christ.
whole song about a guy with a huge dick too.
Wow.
So it was like, is he tough? Listen, Muff, he's got radioactive stuff. I wrote a whole porn theme, Spider-Man, about my friend with a big dick. So when we were trying to do it, I had half Torpedo Man in my head.
In his head.
Right.
Bigger than any man. Look out.
So he was, he swinging. Where was he swinging from?
Swinging from his knee.
A thread.
Right. He was swinging from his bed. So I'm trying to follow along with the song, but I got half a Torpedo Man in my head.
Oh, you're thinking about that dick.
Mm-hmm.
That whole time we trying to sing Spider-Man, and you're thinking about a dick being placed on you, man.
That's what just happened to me. And on that very positive note, I think we should end this. But Godfrey, GodfreyLive.com is where you go. Great stand-up. He's going to be in Funny Bones, Cobb's coming up
this
San Fran.
week.